dudes, it's Warhammer Wednesday. It's hot, I have a headache, I really don't feel like having my model up, so you guys get to deal with the little bouncing PNG. How are you guys doing today? I'll grab the autistics and pull them up into chat in a moment. Excuse me. Oh, hello. Should learn about the legions before the chapters. Well, you're gonna do the chapters first and then the legions at some point. I thought it was the chapters that were the bigger ones and then the legions, which is the smaller bits of the chapters. But it seems like I did a little fucky wucky, and it got that shit fucking backwards. But you know what? That's just how I roll. I do things out of order because I probably should have started this shit off with like something else, like completely, instead of like, oh yeah, let's just dive into this bullshit. Legions are 30k. You could do either first. Okay. There are 1,000 chapters and only 18 legions. Legions first, chapters later. Well, oh well, we're doing chapters. Let me grab the autistics real quick. You got Sid, Eclipse, and Shadow. 1 autistic, 2 autistic, 3 autistic. There we go. 1 tism, 2 tism, 3 tism, floor.
Floor? I
Floor.
mean, you probably are on the floor. It's fine. A flopping fish.
You should start with the founding chapters. I'm starting with whatever the fuck these chuckle fucks sent me in the Discord channel.
Oh, that's not... okay.
That's all over the place.
Yeah, that's not... oh, boy.
Give me a minute. I'll pull up the video that I sent you.
Acting like I have any idea where to even start besides, where's Arch's videos?
So Arch has a video covering like the chapters and why they were made, which is all right. It's a long one.
Yeah, but I'm not worried today because I don't have to worry about it until tonight. It's fine.
I also got the Codex Astartes from Arch pulled up that I can.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
The Codex Astartes.
And
so found another dude. Talk about the different legions. Found someone who talks about how the chapters actually function.
Yeah.
And I also grabbed the Cursed Founding, because why not?
Yeah, and we can talk about like maybe like Lamenters or something later, because you like Blood Angels, because you're fucking weird.
My boys.
I like the Blood Angels. Just sound cool, so.
Well, they are cool. So
they are very.
They
cool.
are.
I'm
they are
an
sad
Iron
though.
Warrior simp, but goddamn,
they're not sad. The Lamenters are sad. The Blood Angels are just kind of
Hello, Skullthrone. I swallow.
Can I do it? No, that's a lie,
you.
Dylan. I won't be here tonight.
Yes, Wayward One. I do believe LumLum will love the Lamenters.
Maybe. Or she might cry. She might hate them through depression.
LumLum has good luck. I can say this as her DM. She got 7 at 20s out of like 12 rolls. She has good luck.
It's fine.
I have strange luck. Because it's like, when it comes to anything that isn't related to money, it's like art raffles. I win those semi-frequently. Any raffles that have no money attached to it, if it's like, oh, you could win $50, I will never win those. But if it's some random object, I will win it. Like I won fuck, what was the weirdest thing that I've won in a raffle? I won a pressure cooker when I was like 12.
Oh, that's nice.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was at one of those. It was at one of those like church auction things when I used to frequent church a lot. And they had just a little raffle, and I'm like, I don't know what this is for, but I got $10, so I'll take a couple tickets. I want a pressure cooker.
Do you still have the pressure cooker?
My mom sold it.
That's very saddening.
I was to say, I think you can make refried beans in that. We use a slow cooker. But...
The Carcharodons were an unknown founding. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We will get to the foundings later.
We talk about the fun fan chapters later. First,
Okay,
we need
hold
to
on.
talk-
We're
that's
not.
fine.
We don't have to watch the whole thing, but we will watch a. We could recommend a specific part of a Danny video.
Excuse me.
I would
Well,
pull
there
that
you
up
go.
then.
It's
starts
just the
to-
part where he describes the chapter master of the Carcharodons, just because.
How about we start with what LumLum has?
Yes.
I
because
just grabbed
actually-
these from
I like
DMs and a couple things that I think that are videos in the Warhammer channel. And also because I've seen these a lot on Twitter, mostly being quote retweeted and being made fun of to hell and back. What's up with the artists that like drawing the Space Marine maids?
I think it's just me, just because funny.
It's just because it's funny.
Just
So
because
people
it's
make
funny.
fan chapters kind of like all the time. Some of them are like more serious than others. Like there's this
Yeah.
one that's just the Angry Marines, and it's just
Yep.
Australians but in Space Marine form. It's kind of fun. It's
It's
like
just a
funny
joke.
stuff like
They're
that.
just angry all the time.
Their chapter symbol is literally like a frowny angry face. It's really goofy. Like all of their stuff is like super over designed to be like unrealistically aggressive, stupid looking. It's great, but it's
I
something kind
see.
of like that.
Hello,
They're
Mr.
just-
Twisted Frenzy. LumLum's playing a campaign with channels that offline or IRL. It is offline because it's my first ever campaign, but for the second campaign, we might stream it.
Yeah.
All
Chapter
I,
master is named Dickface.
it's like all I know is that I have horrified Shadow, and we got a ghost to kill itself via confusion.
Pull up Monkey's meme.
Just don't
That
be
will
mad.
explain
Why are you
what
sad?
happened.
Why are you depressed?
Can't be depressed if you kill yourself. Lumi 2025.
Exactly. Let's see.
Oh,
Where's...
Lumi, that's not a good message to send to your.
Can't be
Well, that's
sad if
basically
you
what happened
kill
with the ghost.
yourself. Thumbs up.
I'm clipping that and bullying you with it later.
Let's see. Where's
okay.
the monkey meat?
So you could just pull it from my server.
I can. Yeah, I was about to say I could just pull up this actual. Open in browser. There we go.
Why are you sad? Why you cry? Why are you asking such silly questions? Don't worry, it works.
It did work. That's the thing.
I know,
Yeah,
I know it worked. I was told it worked.
And then the ghost.
Why you
committed
sad? Why
Canadian
you
healthcare.
cry? How many people died? And it just worked.
Yes,
What are
because
you,
she kept
Todd
getting
Howard
that
of the
20s.
fucking of the tabletop world? It just works.
Todd
It
Howard,
just
the
works.
ghost.
I enjoy my rat girl. Her name is Nem. And that's all she is.
Nem.
Is it him?
Nim?
is
It's
Nem.
like close. That's too close to Nim. Call Disney.
Yes, Mr. Twisted Frenzy. She is basically playing Skaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is 2 foot tall rat girl.
I
So
mean,
she's
hey.
1 foot taller than real life. Okay.
I mean, hey, it's like if I do end up joining Arch for a Skaven campaign, I'll just pick up Nem and be like, okay, she's over here now.
She's perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, that's perfect
A
thing to
portal
do with
opened, and Now
characters.
it's in another dimension.
You would just be like a literal like midget Skaven.
Anyway, Warhammer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
she's Skaven-esque. That's close enough.
Maybe.
Yeah, but it's a Skaven female, and that's not something you want to be.
Yeah,
No.
fair enough.
No, you don't. It's
I
scary.
can cure my depression by killing myself. Thanks, Lumi. Oh, you're welcome. Thumbs up.
All right, Lumi, this is going in the Google
Lumi
Doc.
endorsed
Letting you know.
message.
Your depression. These 5 easy steps. Psychologists hate this woman.
You know what?
Alright,
I
this goes-
need to get Lumi art done of like those memes of the noose, and it's just like
Yeah,
anime
where it's, like,
girls on
seen
the
through
other
news.
side.
Yeah, I know.
I need to
exactly
get
what
that
you're talking
drawn. It just
It's like
fine.
come touch. It's and then you have a speech bubble saying "come touch feet."
Yes. Just touch feet. Like, oh, it's fine. Oh.
Ave Maria.
They just hear the snap of the rope. Oh shit.
Lumi is a rat. Yes.
There we go. Thank you, Shadow. You get a gold star.
Lumi is
You're
a
welcome.
Night Lord fan. I call it now.
Oh, she
no,
probably is.
Lumi. If Lumi likes any of those weird factions, I think she'd like Drukari more because they're way more artistic about it than the.
No,
the
you see, Lumi just likes the gore for the sake of gore. That's basically all the Night Lords are.
I do
Yeah,
like
but the
gore for the
Drukhari
sake
are
of gore,
artsy
but
fartsy.
also I do like when people do get a little creative with it. And
I
Oh
mean,
my
the
God,
Nightmares
she's
do
a-
get creative.
She's a homunculus.
I
Well,
think
that's just me.
that's why if anyone gets stupidly mad at me on Twitter and they try to do their good old method of just sending gore to people, I'm just like, okay, I've seen this on the daily via live leak. Try
Yeah,
again.
No. You don't say
So he's
anything
just
like,
like,
"Oh no,
hey."
please stop! Don't send me more."
Oh no, don't send me
more."
gore. Oh no, how terrible
Oh,
opens
oh.
DM requests.
Yeah, Magma.
Louis is like, oh hey, if you're gonna send me this stuff, can you send me stuff I haven't seen before? This gets old.
No, you're not supposed to act like you know it, you fool.
Boog
the whole
tried to
point.
intimidate us. He's like, he made some gory Lumi AI art, and everyone's like, oh come on, we can take it. And Magma's like, no guys, you don't understand. It's really bad. It's horrible. And then he sends it to me. I'm like, dude, my IRL thumb injury was worse than this. What the hell?
I've
I know,
seen
I
his
wonder
IRL
why-
thumb injury. It's
I
not
know,
even
you
the
know what
worst
she
I've
responded?
seen.
You know, what
Lumi's
she
like, it's so
responded?
beautiful.
She's like, hell yeah. That's what Lumi said. She said, hell yeah. Afterwards, I was like, oh, thanks, Lumi. I guess.
I'm so glad
Ugh,
my pain amuses
It's not.
you.
It's not like.
My-
It's not like your finger was cut off or anything. You're fine.
Yeah. I know, but my thumbnail's all funny now. It doesn't grow right.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it does sound like
It
you
most
probably.
definitely is. It kind of sucks. I need to like take a photo when it's a little more grown out because it looks really fucked up.
Let me. Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
Yes.
We're getting off topic
Did
now.
you like
Shadow.
it?
Stop
Yeah,
it.
Shadow. Now it's your fault.
Yeah. Now we're getting off topic because of you. Shut the hell up.
Okay,
No,
fine.
Flippers, actually.
Lumi,
You
if
know
you'll
what,
please
actually-
start the video.
No,
Okay,
actually we can't because Captain Flippers is complaining in chat. So now we got.
Okay. Can we get started? No, I'll do what I want. No, yeah, we could get started. Let me make sure this will blow your guys' ears out.
I hope it does.
Be fine.
There's no sound in the beginning. There we go.
Well,
I hear
they're like,
something.
"Ah!"
There we
That's
go.
a little loud.
Perfectly fine.
You want to full screen it, Lumi?
Pull who what?
Full screen?
Oh, full screen?
Yeah.
Do I have to full screen? I have it set up in my OBS to be theater mode.
It's fine.
It's fine then. If it's gonna fuck with it, it's fine.
Darn OBS foils us once again.
I keep forgetting. Who are the dudes in the hoods? Those are tech priests, right?
Those are tech
Yes.
priests, yes.
Okay.
Very control.
Basically,
Oh, the
it-
toasters.
Yes, if you see dudes in red robes, 99% of the time, it's tech priests.
Oh, okay.
They are the IT people.
Unironically, it's the Imperium IT department, yeah.
They couldn't run without them, but then again, they couldn't exist without the Imperium. So it's kind of they kind of need each
Another
other.
tech symbol, yes, this is Raptors. There.
My second favorite.
These animations are just so fucking good.
It is. This is
That's
a
because
old,
they're
old
sold.
fan animation.
And GW tries to take them away from us.
Dylan, we're not going to forget about your existence.
That's right. Who's Dylan again?
I don't know,
Some
some
Shandy
armadillo
I heard,
that
I
I
don't know.
have to keep sweeping off my front porch.
That's weird.
I heard he's a Danny.
He just wants to tell you about the glory of the Omnissiah. So, hello,
Who's this?
new person.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, Dax, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Yes.
All
I'm
I
sure
seen
this will
was
be
like
fine.
a small cat in the corner. I'm like, Dax?
Yeah, it's me.
Dax or Arch? It's one of the two.
How are you
I
doing,
see.
Like,
Dax?
oh my god, it's Kitty.
Are watching Warhammer stuff.
Gotta get that certificate of holiness.
Security seals are so fucking cool.
They are cool.
Have you guys seen the Modelo Marines? There's a madman out there that made an entire Space Marine suit. with Modelo boxes.
Jeez.
Mm.
Oh, that is so. You know, I want to get fridge magnets of the
Purity seals.
purity seals. I see people with with fridge
Probably-
magnets of them, and I'm like,
So you
I
can say
want
that-
them.
So you can say your fridge is blessed. Like, oh, here we go.
No, but imagine it's like there's the seal and everything, but then the paper part of it is erasable, and you can just write your grocery list on it.
That actually
Oh,
sounds
well, you
good.
Yes, I
remember
know
to write it
mechanics
down.
Chimeras are kind of cringe, but they're kind of here to stay.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should say that. I found some right now in
Nice.
Etsy.
I was gonna say they're probably on Etsy if they're anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know what purity seals necessarily are. They're not actually complicated. Essentially, they're either prayers or like oaths of like a goal the Space Marine in particular is gonna achieve or something like that. They're usually like promises to be honorable and do his duty and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought
Before
I thought purity
You
seals
promised
were
you'd be a good
literally
boy.
like blessings.
They are also prayers. Sometimes they are too. Especially if you're like Grey Knights, it's always like blessings and shit like that.
Yes. 'cause,
But sometimes it's like an oath of honor or like to do right or shit like that. They're
Yeah.
kind
It's
of
kind of like a declaration. Back during like the ancient days of the legions, during like a certain little ritual for the lunar
Yeah.
wolves long ago.
I guess the Lunar Wolves, the
They
Southern
were
guys
good
were
boys
nothing
once.
wrong. They did nothing wrong ever, and nobody ever did anything wrong. That's the
The
good.
lunar
ending.
wolves, you're right. The lunar wolves did nothing wrong. The Sons of Horus
Lu-
did so much wrong.
No,
Lumi,
that's
Yes.
do me a
It's-
favor.
Hmm.
Look up the Modelo Space Marine.
The fuck's the Modelo Space Marine?
I've seen him.
Look
I've
him-
said this
look him
many
up.
times.
Oh,
on
and
YouTube.
Archivon sent me that, and he also sent me this one for a little more funny intro to Space Marines lore.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Badger.
Badger.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Russian.
This is great.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
just watch it right
Russian
now.
Yeah, it's a
Badger,
nice
literally
clip.
best boy.
He is
Yes.
pretty great.
Periods of
The
time
IRL
crafted
plastic
by
man.
the Emperor to purge heretics. Die! We're talking 2 hearts. We're talking 3 lungs.
3
We're
lungs.
talking night vision. We're talking 8 foot tall, 800-pound monsters that look like Hulk Hogan ate Boogie 2988 and covered himself in a steel suit of armor the size of a Range Rover.
We are the bringers of death!
Think of them as religion-fueled death machines hell-bent on exterminating any race that isn't human, while also not being racist.
Racist? Space Marines aren't racist. We love all races. As long as they don't have green skin. Eat bolt gun! Or, belong to a different religion. I don't know why anyone would call us racist. I'm a black priest for Emperor's sake. Even gods may die!
True.
We don't hate any races, except orcs, and Eldar, and Dark Eldar, and Necrons, and Tau, because nobody likes dumbass weeaboo space communists. But at least they aren't
Very
trying
true.
to eat us like the Tyranid.
Periods of time, they're crafted by the
Real.
Emperor
Yeah, that's fairly accurate.
Yep.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. I don't know how anyone
Yeah.
can contest that.
Time to correct the record. It's not genocide. It's xenocide. Genocide implies
Yes.
they're humans.
It's not
That's
xenophobic
true.
because that implies an irrational fear. This is
Yeah,
entirely
my-
rational.
Yep.
Have
my
you
fear of
seen the
alien is fear.
Tyranids?
It's not fear. I just hate them. There's a difference.
Yes.
Magnus did everything wrong.
Yes, he did.
Gosh,
That is
is
wrong.
Magnus
true.
did nothing wrong.
Shut up, Shadow. I
That
love
is
Magnus, but he
true.
did so much wrong.
I will
Magnus
not be
did
silent
nothing
on
wrong
this.
until he doubled down.
Mechanicus
No,
said,
Magnus
no,
told to do
Magnus
nothing. He
was
did it
told to
wrong.
do nothing. He did it wrong.
Wait until
Unironic-
someone
yeah,
records
that's
it,
part of
nothing
it.
wrong.
Yes, because he did do something.
Magnus
did it
tried
badly.
to do. Magnus tried to do good, and then when he did wrong, he doubled down.
Yes.
Okay, I keep hearing about this Magnus dude. Who the fuck is this?
So
Magnus is
I can
the Primarch of the
explain.
Thousand Suns.
We haven't
like,
talked
basically,
about-
Oh god damn it! We have to go down the rabbit hole of
we don't. No,
Primarchs
we
now.
don't. We don't need the big. So we haven't talked about the Primarchs really. The Primarchs are the Emperor's sons. Magnus is the Primarch of the Thousand Sons, one of the original legions. He's one of the
Yeah.
Emperor's kids. That's all you really need to know.
Yes.
And the only
He's-
interesting factor about them is that literally every single one of them is a wizard.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
all. It's like a legion. It's a legion. It's a Space Marine legion of psychers. Like 90% of them are psychers.
Oh,
Like basically
I
all of
see.
them.
Something
Yes,
with the
and
gene seed, it's also a problem because something with the gene seed makes them psychers, but as a consequence, they have a habit of spontaneously mutating into chaos spawns, which are basically like a pile of flesh.
Which was before Magnus actually rejoined the Legion.
Okay, before we go down
Then he
this
made-
tunnel of autism, we will do Primark week probably in 3 weeks.
Maybe.
Okay.
Or
Also,
Just read.
or would Primarks be a good topic to talk about with Pontius?
That could be a good
yeah,
one.
Probably,
Pontus would be a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay,
Danny
well
would be- Danny would
we'll
be all
talk
over
about Primarks and stuff with Pontius, okay?
Yeah.
And it's
Danny
yeah.
will.
it's funny. When I first met him, I'm like, "Oh, hi Pontius." He was like, "Why does everyone say Pontius? It's Pontius." I'm like, "Okay."
Well, now it's
Pontius.
Pontus.
Well, they just
And
call
you
him
can't-
Danny.
Yanni.
Annie.
Then
He's
Pio.
Danny Fortuna.
He's
He's the Italian man, right?
Yes.
Okay,
He is
he's
he is
Mr.
not just-
Soprano now. That's his name. I don't care.
He's not even the Italian. He is the Fortuna.
Well, he's Mr. Soprano in my lore now.
That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
perfectly fine.
Where the Modelo.
Oh, but yeah,
Space
for
Marine.
all of you guys here, May 28th, Pontius will be joining for Warhammer Wednesday, so it'll be quite fun.
Yes.
Let's see. What's May? Hold on. Okay, that's for
One
let's see,
day, a
maybe like-
god
May 28th is the very last Wednesday of May.
Yeah.
You see, now I don't mean to bring up Bricky, but he does have kind of an entertaining video about the legions. like-
yeah, it's like
Oh
it's
yeah,
the
he
only book.
remade one actually.
That's
he
for
remade
all the
entire
factions,
video.
not the legions themselves.
Yeah,
Oh, not
I
the
gotta
Legion.
read-
Oh yeah, no, this. Yeah, no. That,
Also,
yeah.
LumLum.
Yeah, go ahead.
Noah?
We do have someone in the waiting room. I don't know if you want to bring them
Oh.
in or not.
It looks like the son of the armchair expert, but except that it's a mug.
It's Armchair's second cousin.
I know it. Twice removed.
Yellow.
Hello. Good morning.
Welcome to the
Oh.
Tism.
Hello.
Like he
pup.
paused on the good morning because he didn't know if it
I
was
was
morning or
saying,
not. He
it
broke
cut
his
off.
brain.
No, it is more. It is morning for me.
Oh God, it's Australian.
It's an.
Is it Australia?
Okay,
Wow,
this
okay,
has,
cool.
this
He
has
really,
to
maybe
be
he is related to armchair.
Armchair.
No, I'm not Australian. I'm New Zealand. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Oh,
Same
it's the
difference.
same
Ah,
thing.
potato,
Actually,
potato.
no, I take that
Oh, you're
back.
special snowflake Australian. Got it.
Potato, potato.
No, come on. I will say there's a difference. I would not want to be called a Yank if someone's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're American.
Don't give me that PC crap here, Shadow. They're all the same.
Yeah, come on, Shadow.
All right.
Hey,
We're
I'm
supposed
not
to
a
be
Yankee.
racist
Yankee.
here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about racism later against the Australians.
All right, Wilco.
Besides, it's
Alright.
time to bring humanity back into the stars and creates giant superhuman soldiers in a basement
Well,
on Terra
you guys have
that
fun.
would be
I will
known
now
as
go.
Space Marines.
Farewell.
All right,
The
Dex.
20 legions
Bye.
of these
Thanks for
super
popping by.
soldiers will struggle with
Yeah.
their
Bye, Catboy.
identities, their purpose, their faith, and ultimately
Catman,
each other.
idiot.
And
Close
each of
enough.
These
Potato,
legions is unique in ways
Oh, great.
you wouldn't believe.
We got another one in
So,
the waiting room.
Oh, it's the
Eh?
knife your hater. That makes sense.
Oh, we did mention racism.
Hello.
Let's bring our most powerful racist
Did,
here.
did you hear
I
racism
don't.
and you were called?
Eclipse, shut up. You know what's powerful.
I don't know. I think I might be a contender for that.
I have the title of server racist. Shut.
Sure.
I'm here for one thing and one thing only,
What's up?
Yes.
and that is space racism.
Yes.
Well,
Well, I
Perfect.
do real racism, so you need to rank up, my boy.
you need to power up like
And
right
for
now.
anyone watching, that is a joke. Don't get mad at Lumi. Get mad at Sid.
Yeah,
oh,
I don't
I'm
care. You can
racist
do that.
because it's genetic.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Mike,
well,
you
never
know,
mind then.
Are Mexicans
German
genetically
shit.
racist?
Yes.
Her people did come up with gringo,
She's racist on both sides of her heritage, which is extra funny.
but I'm here specifically and only to say this. Magnus did everything wrong, and Russ was right to shatter his spine.
Which is why Russ
And-
is missing a heart, idiot. Get
Yes,
wrecked.
he is. He did. I punched out his heart. Why does no one remember that?
All right.
Well, also,
We will-
Russ
we will-
needed.
We will talk about Magnus another week.
Look, shut up.
I will banish you all to your little tism room.
This is my
I'm
room.
shutting up.
No, not the
to our
basement, not
breakdown of the
again.
20 legions of the Adeptus Astartes from Warhammer.
There's so
40K.
many feet in there.
I'm sorry, did they say 20
We
legions?
might as well start at
Liar.
Yes. Think 20.
Oh, you see.
One,
I don't know what he's
two,
talking about. There's only
three,
18.
four,
My
5,
boys!
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
This
the
guy
Not even
forgot to
all of
break some of them up.
Oh, okay.
He hits all of them.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah,
because
20.
halfway through.
I don't really
Hello,
know, but there's
fish
only
thing.
18
How goes
legions.
the learning? The learning goes well
Yes.
Kind
It's
of.
already derailed.
when we eventually get to
I
it.
will say this. I will say this.
Uh-oh.
Technically, there was 20 legions.
No, there wasn't. I know what you're talking about. There was never 20 legions.
It's always been 18, and then 9.
Yes.
No, the Ultramarines just ate 2.
No,
That
never
actually,
made
any sense to
that's
me, and I
just a
don't-
rumor.
Yeah. It also doesn't make any sense at all, but
Well,
It
can,
doesn't.
You know what? Danny's video actually makes it better, but whatever. That's not the point.
Hello, Mr. Twister Frenzy. I posted a video on Magnus by the Amber King in Warhammer chat in Discord. Okay.
That is a very good video, but it is, I think, like 3 hours long.
I'll
yeah,
have to
that's
listen
a
to it
check
in my
video
own
for
time.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
that's way
I
too
will check
fucking long.
it. Yeah, that's 3.5 hours. We are not watching that on a.
See, the wolves
Warhammer.
also definitely didn't kill at least one. Hi, Lumi, by the way. Hello.
Well,
No,
you see.
I believe.
But let's just start,
not
and
going
we'll
to sigil
get them
Yeah,
out
yeah.
later.
We will talk about each chapter as we get to it. Okay.
Maybe.
I will
Yeah.
pull out the fucking metaphorical whip and put you each in the waiting room again.
I mean,
Ah.
Queen has a flogger that you can never hit me with if you need to. just
Joke's
DM.
on you. I'm into that shit, footfish.
Of course the
Sid,
dwarf
for
would
you
be into it.
specifically, I will message Queen.
Alright, yeah, just tell her to hit me with something and that'll fix it. She's watching a movie right
I'm
now.
far
so
enough away to where I'm above reproach.
Number 1. The First Legion Astartes is also coincidentally one of the most celebrated despite their habit of secrecy. Often tasked with some of the most important and high-profile missions, the Dark Angels enjoyed much of the spotlight during the Great Crusade. Their first recorded deployment was the defense of the Imperial Palace during the Palace coup attempt during the Unification Wars. Many of the first legionnaires of what would eventually become the Dark Angels were used to experiment fighting styles and organizational techniques to be used in the other legions. This led to an air of superiority that hung over the first in every encounter with their
God damn
fellow
it.
legions, leading to the unofficial nickname, the Uncrowned Princes. Many First Legion warriors started taking names of epic heroes from Terran myth as they slowly started believing their own hype. However, this led them to start believing that there was nothing they could learn from the rest of the Imperium or even their brother Space Marines, and so by the time their Primarch Lionel Johnson was found, the first was a legion of secretive and superior traditionalists ruled by a circle of pseudo-nobility called hosts. Oddly, the prideful leaders of the Legion did not at first enjoy the presence of their Primarch like other legions did, and it took quite a few duels for the Lion to beat some sense into this group of Astartes. And unfortunately, this feeling of bitterness and wounded pride became a festering undercurrent of heresy that came to a head when Horus attacked the Imperium. The legionnaires that had still shown resistance.
So the
That
Dark
explains a lot,
Angels
actually.
were on the side of Horus during the Horus Heresy?
Nope.
No.
No, see, the whole
No.
thing is like
No.
half of the Dark Angels Legion
No.
basically rebelled for the most part, and it was
Yeah.
kind of an embarrassment for them.
He's
Yeah.
literally about to explain that part.
Okay.
Resistance
You
for
always have
Lion
this
and
habit,
his new
Lumi.
tactics had been sent to guard their home world of Caliban and were very upset about the
I'm just
perceived
saying, you have
slight
good
against their
times, though.
honor. In a final
Alright.
act of rebellion, these Marines would become the Fallen, turned against the Imperium, forcing the Lion to destroy most of Caliban and fighting his former best friend Luther. Heavily wounded, the Primarch slept for over 10 millennia.
Hold on. Hi, Dreyfy. So, Lumi, this is your Wednesday thing now. I take it you're going to disappear down a decades-long rabbit hole. Every autistic is now going to try and get you to cover their thing. The boys already got you trying to name World War II weapons. Yeah, and that, I didn't even express interest in World War II weapons. They're just like, okay, what kind of ammunition does this fire? Oh, what kind of tank is this? Shows a random blurry picture of a tank. And I'm just
We
like,
force
huh.
our passions onto you.
I
It
have
is
to
not
read
my
later,
fault.
Lumi.
I
have
have
to
not
read-
been in the server for quite some time.
Look,
I
Look,
have
it's
a
very-
job.
do you want a cheat version for all the ammunition, Lumi?
That's okay. We're getting
If
off
it's
topic again.
if it's bread, okay, very well. Stay on topic.
Grab the whip.
I will
It's
say
like the one thing that I could yap on about, just random question wise, to be thrown at me is random torture devices throughout history. Those are fun to talk about.
Those are
Like
fun.
the Weimar German self-pleasure wheel. I would consider that to be a torture implement.
I prefer the breaking wheel myself, but let's get back to the video.
Until waking up during the Indomitus Crusade. Currently, the Dark Angels are one of the strongest Space Marine chapters, working in concert with their successor chapters better than any other legion, all while hunting down what remains of their fallen brothers in secret. That's weird. All it says here is Error 404, Legion not found.
Oh, I wonder why. That's weird.
The next one, I guess. A legion diminished by the near total loss of its gene seed, the Emperor's children were a faint echo of the other legions by the time Fulgrim was...
Okay, so why is there not a...
So...
The second legion was wiped out.
It's his self-insert.
My god.
It's supposed
Number
to be a
2, number 11 are gone.
Same with their
They basically got told, hey, these two never existed. There are no official records or unofficial records of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows
The
how
meta-
they were destroyed. Nobody knows why. And that's kind of how GW
The meta context for it.
Danny kind of has a video solving this, or at least his theory on it.
I have my own theory of what GW is probably going to do with these lost legions and everything.
Literally nothing.
They'll do
No,
nothing.
this is my prediction that's going to make just like a bunch of people mad if somehow it just happens. And then they're going to be like, Lumi, this is your fault. You've manifested this into reality. The 2nd or the 11th Legion is just going to be, oh, yeah, but see, this is why the female custodies were always around. It's because their legion was wiped out, but they were
it's
actually
a good thing the custodies aren't
together.
Space Marines, Lumi, and you are just wrong.
Yes.
Okay, well, good.
The meta
Not to
context
mention, the
for
Emperor
it.
literally called the two missing Primarchs his
Let-
son still.
Let Knife Ear Hater speak, please.
The meta context for it is that GW is basically giving you a self-insert.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the meta reason.
Sort of.
That is the whole reason why.
Oh,
My
So
theory
you
is
could
not
create your own Space Marine Legion with its own Primarch and its own lore.
which
back
doesn't
in-
make much
back
sense
when
because
GW was
chapters anyway.
fun.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but this was back when GW was fun.
Were they ever
And the lore wasn't
fun,
fleshed
quote
out.
unquote?
They were probably fun when you were able to, still call and
bash.
build your own little dudes in the mail and shit.
Don't get me started on the kit bashing shit. GW
Kit bashing.
released a bunch of official model shit, and they're like, "Oh, you guys can't kit bash your official models for tournaments." And then a bunch of the official stuff has like Age of Sigmar bits glued onto it.
I see.
Nice.
It's infuriating.
I bet. Well, let's
Yeah.
get back to this.
Have a pretty boy.
Was found and given command. Driven by his personal need to prove himself as
fucking
the perfect
sneak
son of
tweet.
the Emperor and his
Yeah, the
compulsive
Lumi
need for
chapter.
efficiency, Fulgrim drove his legion to never waste resources or energy, creating
It's
some
the
of the most
anti-Lumi because
obsessed
there is no
Marines
feet
in the
for her to
Imperium.
sniff.
For some time after Fulgrim took command, the 3rd Legion wasn't able to take part in many of the more glorious and notable campaigns of the Great Crusade as they worked to replenish their numbers. Once they were ready, however, they proved overeager and ended up volunteering for challenges that would stress even the more better equipped legions. This exposed them to the taint of chaos early on, and by the time the heresy was being planned, the Emperor's children and their Primarch had almost been fully taken by the ruinous powers. The Emperor's children and their Primarch were manipulated at almost every step of the way. Horus saw his inexperienced and eager young brother as a useful tool, even leveraging his relationship with Ferrus Manus of the Iron Hands Legion in an attempt to get yet another legion on his side.
Okay. Ferrus Manus, that is a name that I hear a lot.
People weep over him.
He has a great head on his shoulders.
I see.
Lumi,
I really
and
love the man whose name is Iron Hands, who runs the Iron Hands Legion.
You really need to get a better mic than your phone, bro.
Yeah.
I can't hear shit.
Bro, I'm in a
probably talk
room that is
more about
20
the way he
feet
talks about
tall.
Americans, but-
I'm in a room that is 20 feet tall.
Okay,
Yes.
why are you in a room that's 20 feet tall?
Oof, boom.
Because that is
Oh
where I live.
You know, maybe
You
he's
live in a
just a
fucking
giant.
cave?
He just can't tell us. So
He's a
he
dwarf.
has
Yeah,
to-
he's a dwarf, Lumi. What are you even talking about?
Oh yeah, he's in a cave
Any-
system.
Wait, we fucking Minecraft?
I'm mining for mithril while I'm in here. Shut up.
Get back to mining, miner.
And that
Mm-hmm.
there's another name that I always heard a lot, even before I even knew what the heck Warhammer was. Fuck, what was
Yes.
the name?
Was
Something
it
Horus.
Kane.
Sanguinius?
Typhus Kane?
Typhus Kane.
Oh, no, he's not the
the
Primarch.
Imperium.
Typhus Kane is a commissar from a very popular like trio
Book
of
series.
books that's really good for like beginners.
Trio.
Oh,
It's like a
okay.
fucking 9 stories.
Remember for the life of me, bro.
I have
And
all the
multiple
books,
short
I know.
stories.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
they
so
are
good.
they are such good books.
They're
It is-
amazing.
They are.
It is
It's
very
basically, hey, here's 40k with a dash of comedy.
I see.
But he's not
It's
participating
like
right
I've
now.
always heard I've always heard it referenced. I just never knew what the heck he was from for like
Yeah.
years. I'm like, who the
A
fuck?
great series of books. That's all I gotta
Yes.
say. I'm not gonna spoil shit except the fact that he's a man of taste.
Yes.
I will have to
and
find
is
the
a-
books at some point.
We're on your throne.
It's an omnibus.
There you go. Is this better?
Yes.
Hey,
I'm
Drive
in a
Me, it's too
closet.
late. You've opened the door. Now the history autistics are coming 40k was just the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Oh, don't
let's
worry,
continue.
Lumi.
For his
Later
part,
on, I gotta
Fulgrim-
give you gun stuff to bully Arch with, because I know
Okay.
things he won't know because he's European.
Okay.
Fulgrim is depicted as being mostly naive, but we shouldn't forget that he is a Primarch, a superhuman warrior with a huge wrinkly brain and tons of ambition, and his legion was very much the same, a fact that the Prince of Excess exploited with gusto. Masters
So,
of
hold on,
siege
you pause for
warfare,
2 seconds?
these implacable warriors were
So he mentions that he kind of glosses over this. He mentions that the Emperor's children had to rebuild their ranks from basically nothing, but he doesn't really say why.
Uh-huh.
There was some mutation with their gene seed that gave them what is essentially called super cancer. They call it the blight, and it was essentially like super cancer for space marines, and they really didn't have a cure for it until until they found Fulgrim and used his genetics to recreate the gene seed from scratch, basically. That's kind of where part of their obsession of like perfection comes in, because it was a crippling illness, and like anything short of perfect, like anything would fuck them bad.
Also, I'm not
Oh.
quite sure if them falling to chaos is the reason he stays. They fell to chaos because they didn't know what the hell they were dealing with.
Yeah, no,
Like,
they
Fulgrim
felt the
literally
chaos.
picked up a demon blade and like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whisper, whisper.
Oh,
whisper.
this is supposed to just be like a very basic introduction to them.
Yeah, I just saw he glossed over that part where he kind of half mentioned it, and I wanted to clarify, like, oh, why did they get small? That's why they got super cancer, and they actually
Super
almost got wiped out
chlamydia.
from it.
He also
No.
doesn't talk about how the one apothecary who actually did it, Fabius Vile, he didn't talk about
Fabulous
him.
Vile.
Yeah,
Again-
Fabulous Vile.
Well, it's all very
Overview.
like, condensed.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is super condensed.
I would assume a brief explanation would have the main characters from every legion.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
this is also
saying.
like a 40
I mean-
minute talk about 20 people. So
Like, yeah, have fun trying to condense all that down to 40 minutes.
That's why I just wanted to clarify that, because he mentioned it, and he doesn't really say like why they were so small. Super cancer.
We could delve more into this, like, later.
It wasn't
no, that's
super
fine.
cancer, it was gonorrhoesyphilades.
Yeah, super gonosyphilades times 2.
Except for
Anyways.
Peter Turbo.
Yay, my
Yeah,
boys!
My
Let's
boys.
continue.
Yeah.
Time for me
Good
to
little
simp.
fuck.
Master Peter
Child.
Turbo.
It's time to simp, boys.
It's time to
often
bitch.
more stubborn than
We
the
had
fortresses
superiority
they garrisoned.
complex, now we have
Making matters
inferiority
worse, their
complex.
Primarch Perturabo was a strict disciplinarian, instituting decimation as a punishment whenever the Legion failed to measure up to his high standards, which thankfully wasn't often. Choosing 1 out of every 10 of your friends to be beaten to death is a strong motivator to not make mistakes, it seems. The real problem for the Iron Warriors was that they were too good at what they did. Long, protracted sieges and trench warfare are difficult for any soldier, and though Space Marines are superhuman in many ways, they're built for quick, decisive strikes, not drawn-out warfare. The Iron Warriors, though, took these assignments on without complaining so often that they got themselves pigeonholed into the role. Whenever a tough enemy had dug in, the Emperor sent the Iron Warriors to blast them out. Whenever a fortress needed guarding by more than just human infantry, he called on the Iron Warriors. This slowly bred resentment and bitterness in the Legion, and especially its Primarch, who began to get envious of the praise and honors heaped on his more noteworthy brothers. When the time came and Horus approached him about the possibility of fighting the Emperor and his upstart loyalist brothers, Perturabo and his Legion didn't hesitate to say yes, although they remain to this day.
They got a big.
Hold on,
Legions
1
who
second
staunchly-
here. Okay, the reason Perturabo fell is because he fucking ruined his home planet, and he realized, oh no, oh shit.
He literally
Yes.
strangles his
Oh
adopted
shit, Dad's
sister
gonna be
and,
so
starts
fucking
falling
mad at me.
over her corpse
he
because he
was-
realized he's a failure.
He was emotionally broken. He wasn't just bitter. He was broken by the time he was actually recruited.
I see.
Okay, everyone,
He
this
had-
is a
He had a moment
video.
where it was literally, "Oh fuck, Dad's gonna be so mad at me."
Unironically, like that's basically what he says. He's
Like
like,
he said, the Emperor can't forgive me for this. The Emperor can't forgive me for this. He
It's
must
actually a very
not.
touching
Exactly.
scene. Like he breaks his
Inferiority
sister's neck
complex.
and
He
he's
lashes out at
fuck.
people.
Also,
Also-
everyone, yes, I know that he's brushing over stuff. This was just a video I found that was an art going over the
No, you're
Legions.
fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
I
I'm
said
also
just
saying that for
fine.
chat.
Perturabo has like the biggest martyr complex in the fucking world.
He absolutely does. He feels like he really needs to be punished.
I
He
see.
feels, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if he needs to be punished, give him about a weekend in Comora. That would help.
No,
He'll probably take it
I mean,
over. What are you talking about?
He would take it over because
Funny
he's too
thing,
stubborn to give in.
I like how he uses his inferiority complex and then lashes out violently at people.
It's true, but that was also because of the fucking Eye of Terror.
You know,
Yeah.
I really like his angry hammer.
Angry.
It's funny because he doesn't
Fr-
actually use melee
No,
often.
he doesn't use a
Like-
hand. He just has power fists. He just punches you really hard.
I thought he just had guns.
Well, if he has to punch you, he punches you really hard.
Like there's only one time he used a hammer. Like that was against Angron once, wasn't it?
I think so. He punches.
I'm not
really hard.
mistaken. Yes.
I know he.
He
Like,
was
punches-
Perturabo was gifted Forge Breaker, which was Ferrus Manus's hammer made by Fulgrim by Horus, but Horus did it sneaky and put a demon inside of it.
Yeah, like I know he
Oh.
had it.
So
he
that
just
face
never
is a
used it.
demon?
Pretty
He
much. Yeah.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. Like I knew he had a hammer, but he just never uses it really because he likes to just. You can't. It's hard to hammer people with an artillery piece.
You know
Yes.
what? Fair.
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep going.
Refused to worship the gods of chaos. The Fifth
Oh,
Legion
yeah.
is
That's
one
the other
of
fun
the
part.
very few examples of Astartes forces
Mongolians.
who operated
Yay,
relatively
my
the
second
same
favorites.
before and after
The
the
fast
introduction of their
Mongolians.
Primarch. Originally called the Star Hunters, these Astartes were not often found in the grand battles of the Unification Wars or the Great Crusade, being instead held back for use as scouts and hunters, tracking down enemies of the Emperor for other legions to destroy. Not that the 5th Legion was incapable of fighting campaigns on their own, as their war record during the Great Crusade would attest, but their hit-and-run tactics were better suited for smaller-scale fights, and while effective, the other legions thought very little of their brothers from the 5th. And while this image of the Star Hunters didn't change much after their Primarch Jagatai was found, the newly renamed White Scars began to pick up more culture and pride than they had ever enjoyed. This is because while Jagatai inherited a legion that was already capable of fighting in a style to which he was accustomed, they were hollow, joyless men in desperate need of something to enrich themselves. Jagatai ordered each Marine to take up a hobby: calligraphy, painting, storytelling, needlepoint, anything to let the Marines of the White Scars feel a little bit less like mindless killing machines, and it worked. The White Scars kept to their duties of scouting and hunting down the enemies of the Imperium without word of complaint, and when the time came for them to choose a side in the heresy, they stuck with the Loyalists and hunted down their traitorous former allies. It's even a tradition that has persisted to this day, with the Great Hunts of the Khans regularly finding and dispatching some of the deadliest enemies of the throne. The route...
So the thing about what he said about their conquest is that after Jagatai was actually found, he actually went on so many conquests that it took months for his brothers to actually meet him for the first time, because he just said, fuck it, okay, sure.
Yeah, so he
And just left behind
outpaced
entire...
everybody.
He left a trail of conquered planets behind him. And like, wait, who's the fifth? I don't know. I haven't seen him yet.
so-
He's just been busy.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
you
I
might hear
really,
about these things.
I really
You
like their
think we're
motorcycles.
bad?
Yes,
You
they're
think
all
we're
about
bad?
Speed.
I honestly think it's
we're
funny
bad?
that
You
it-
should see him.
I still think it's funny that they literally just said, "Please go get a fucking hobby."
So there's a little deeper reason for that. So I don't know if you know, Emperor's children are the ones that fell to Slanesh, right? The god of excess and all that.
Yeah.
They weren't the first pick.
Hmm.
The White
That
Scars
sounds-
were Slanesh's first pick.
I
Just
see.
like
So-
what fucking Blood Angels were Korn's first
Yes,
pick.
the Blood Angels were originally for Khorne, but he settled for Angron. The reason is, he kind of explains, is they started kind of just killing for killing's sake in the kind of way like a serial killer would,
Mhm.
and it started to drive them a little loopy, like a Slanesh worshipper would. And the Khan literally had to go in and like smack his sons and go, no, you're not gonna just kill forever. Go do painting so you can fucking calm down.
Do something
Oh.
that will not involve warfare, because he
Yeah.
saw one day this crusade will be over and you will have to do something else.
Yeah, this is the Blood Angels also literally do this for basically the same reasons, and so they
But
don't
it's-
go
yeah.
fucking crazy.
It's funny because that actually
Yeah.
implies that they actually have a little bit in common with the Eldar, because they constantly have to take up different hobbies so they don't go mad.
Yeah, I mean the Imperial Fists do Scrimshaw.
Hmm.
What the hell's Scrimshaw?
You ever seen like a whalebone with like intricate carvings of like tribal shit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
that.
that's
They
neat.
do that shit. You know Rogel Dorn's missing hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every new chapter master of the Imperial Fist has to scrimshaw his name onto the hand. If I remember correctly.
That must
which is
be
hilarious.
obviously a lot. I hope Rogadorn's
very
hand is
tiny.
very big.
They write very tiny.
They write very like.
Yeah, but no, like this is
I like-
actually something
I like
that's very
to use
common
the
with
word
trader
settled.
legions, is they have hobbies. It's cool.
Hmm.
I like the use of the word settled
What do you mean?
because he didn't
because
settle
like
for
bro, you
him.
weren't you were my.
That
pick,
was
but I
the
guess
last draft.
You're all
pick.
I got.
Yeah, you're all I got. This is a Hail Mary.
Yeah, Angron was supposed to be the healer Primarch. That's why Khorne had to settle, which is hilarious to me.
He's the exact opposite of what I wanted, but you know what? He's angry enough.
Wasn't-
Fuck it.
The Vilka Fenrika, the Space Wolves. The
Oh
six-
yeah, isn't the Space Wolves the
Vikings in space.
the edgy
Vikings in
little
space.
ones that people like?
No, they're
It's not
they're
Vikings
not
in space.
edgy per se. They're just space Vikings.
They're
They're
But
literally
they're
Space
also
Vikings.
furries.
They're also furries.
Yes, they are.
They're
Okay.
they are furries in space. They are not
These are
space
Jinx- this is
Vikings.
Jinx's
Vikings
favorite
do
chapter,
things like
guys.
Yeah.
trade.
The problem is that GW likes to focus on the wolf aspect too much instead of the Viking
God,
one. Like,
so
hey,
bad.
let's just
So
slap more
fucking
wolf
bad.
shit. Like, stop.
Yeah,
Wolf this,
oh, God.
that,
Yeah,
wolf
the
this.
space
Literally
wolves
ride
wolf
giant
everything.
wolves as like cavalry. It's so cringe. I hate it.
It's so fucking dumb.
Unfortunately,
They
my
got the
furry.
Wolf Riders, the Wolf Brothers, the Wolfen. Take your
The
pick.
Wolf
Wolves
Brothers.
here, wolves there.
I'm literally
Merchandising,
through Rogue Trader
merchandising.
again. I'm literally replaying through Rogue Trader again, and I've just got my Space Marine companion, and I'm hearing all the wolf things again, and I'm having PTSD.
I like Ulfric though. He's great.
Ulfric is king, but like Jesus
He is
Christ,
king.
stop talking
Yorn.
about the Moon
Ulfric?
Priest
You
and
mean
the Wolf Priest.
Ulfric Stormcloak? Oh my god!
Yes.
Lumi, I will.
Well, I
I
mean-
will dock
you should
Goth-
know who
Nurses
this
for
one is.
the Nords.
Lumi, you should know who Ulfric is. He was in the first opening segment of Space Marine 2.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yeah, I know. I had to remind you of that. It was
That
very
is
sad.
not that.
I-
That is not the
You
Ulfric
know, I still need to
love.
beat Space Marine too.
The
You still need to
the
beat a lot of
Imperial
games, but
Spirit of
anyway.
Union.
Yeah,
You
I
still
mean,
need to go
I'm
pick the
still
nettle
waiting
and
for
save your dad,
Stalker to
Lumi.
get fixed. So, well, once they have their fucking NPC AI shit fixed up, I will get back into Stalker too.
Mm-hmm.
6th Legion Astartes has had several names across its history, and it's been quite a bloody one. One of these so-called trefoil legions, the 6th was made for a very specific purpose: to kill other Space Marines. The relatively small size of the Legion was due in large part to the volatility of their gene seed, a precaution that the Emperor baked in just in case his favorite executioners ever decided to turn on him, not that it made any difference to their effectiveness. During the Unification Wars and the early Great Crusade, the 6th Legion was only unleashed when the Emperor wanted to make a point, or if he needed a problem dealt with. The warriors of the 6th soon gained a reputation for being some of the most savage fighters in the Imperium, a fact that worked well to keep potential traitors in line. Two very important things happened to the 6th Legion during the Great Crusade. Their Primarch, Leman Russ, was found, the Wolf King renaming his legion to the Space Wolves, and at some point the Wolves were called upon to fulfill their intended role as the Emperor's executioners, killing the Primarchs of the 2nd and 11th Legions and mauling the surviving Marines so badly that none dare speak of the 2 lost legions ever.
So that's the lore
dubiously
reason
canon.
the 2nd and
That's
11th are
dubiously
gone?
canon.
Lumi, I will.
We don't
link you-
know
you know,
what
I'm gonna link you
happened
a
to
video.
them, so it's kind of... We know that the Space Wolves were used to fight against a legion before the heresy, and no one knows for certain what happened to the 2nd and 11th. That's him just sort of...
That's the common theory because
oversimplifying.
it kind of makes the most sense because they aren't just like executioners against Space Marines. They're
They
the
just
Emperor's
enact his will,
assassins in
whatever he
general.
needs to be.
I see.
If the Custodes, if the Emperor can't send the Custodes to deal with the problem, he sends the Space Wolves to deal with the problem because he knows that they'll do what he needs.
Lumi,
I
I
like
DM'd you 2 videos.
Okay, and also Sujat said when you get the chance, you should look up Battlefleet Gothic 1 and 2. Their cinematics are great, and space warfare in 40k is sadly overlooked.
It is overlooked.
Also
sadly.
inconsistent.
They're good games. I don't know if you would find them fun, Lumi. They're kind of
I mean,
arch-ed.
no, you know what? I'll buy them for Lumi just because I want to see her struggle with another RTS game.
It's not really.
Why?
It's kind of RTS.
Why would you do that?
Because it's funny to see the fish flop around like, what button do?
A new things.
What fucking do? What is
But
she?
yeah, I'll watch them. God.
Yeah, they're good. I
High
like to
level,
think
It's
can I
alright.
join you guys when you
Primarch-
cover the Horus Heresy? Yeah. I don't know when we'll get to the
Oh.
Horus Heresy, but we will at some point.
It
That's
will
gonna
be
be like a multiple streamer.
maybe, maybe not. Like I said, it depends on how
Pontius
artistic Lumi
actually
wants
did
to
a
be.
thing on the missing Primarchs.
Yes, that's the video.
Yes.
Just linked to Lumi.
Okay, well, we'll
His
watch
theory
that
is
next.
very nice.
Okay.
I like to think Malkador killed them because there's that cool art that was made with him having their skulls on a throne, and I think that's cool because I like.
You think that's cool, huh? How dare you?
Yeah,
I've
Malcolm
only
It's
played an
just-
RTS
How
game
dare
since
you
last
not look
played the
for
Command and Conquer
universe
set I paid
and
for.
universe reason.
I will have to do a stream like at some point. It's like can games just take a break on releasing so I can at least work on some of these other games, or I'm just gonna have to start doing
No.
what Hypnotic does, where he does like his normal game streams during the day and then other obscure games late at night and only sleep 2 hours a day.
Yes.
Oh,
No sleep
don't.
for you,
Lumi.
You need fish. You need fish. You need sleep fish.
She is fish.
I need fish. You'll
Oh,
get
God, that's
that.
gonna get clipped.
Sleepy fish is the way.
Sleepy Fish doesn't exist. Lumi exists on caffeine and prayer at this point.
Lumi, where is my Darkwood? I'm sorry, Oblivion came out and I'm really liking it. I accidentally stumbled upon an Oblivion gate and I'm like, oh no.
You traitor.
I can't believe you've done this.
How dare you not want to play the horror game?
I was
Anyway, back to the
I was
furries.
on my way to Anvil and someone just ran up to me and was like, help, we need help, there's so many people dead. And I'm like, okay, I'll help.
Oh, that one. Right.
And
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
you mean
okay,
the
I'll
scripted
help.
one?
Maybe this is just one of those random encounter side quest things. It was not a random encounter side quest. It was indeed an Oblivion gate. And I'm like, ah, shit.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I'm sure there's others. I don't know.
Alright.
Anyways,
Let's
let's
get back to
continue.
talking about
Hey,
Jinx's
I must-
favorite legion.
It was these acts that led to the other
I must
Primarchs
make my
rightfully
leave.
fearing Russ and his legion.
I
It
need
was
food.
said that out of every Primarch, only the Lion could have stood against the Wolf in combat, a thought that was tested in the bitter feuds the two Primarch had over the years. The problem with this reputation, of course, was that the Legionnaires of the 6th and their Primarch never really gained a close relationship with their peers. It's hard to trust someone who you know would kill you as easily as they would drink with you, should the Emperor command it at least. This was taken to its extreme during the Heresy, when Horus successfully tricked the Wolves into attacking the Thousand Sons with some false orders, which kept them from helping their allies on Terra during the siege. To this day, the wolves are known for being some of the most incredibly deadly warriors in the galaxy and are not above fighting other
Okay, so did the Space Wolves get in trouble after that, or
No.
were they able to be
No,
like,
because
hey,
after
yeah,
that, the end of the
you were
horsey
tricked?
ended.
Because
Okay.
it was the horsey was such a clusterfuck, they didn't have time for punishments.
They did.
Okay.
They didn't even. I don't even think it's confirmed if they know it was a deception or not.
Basically, what happened was Magnus did a thing. Emperor told Lehman, "Hey, go to Magnus's world, pick him up, bring him back here." Lehman was on the way, got a call from Horus saying, "Hey, so Dad changed his mind. He wants you to kill Magnus now."
Which was a bold-faced lie.
Yes.
Yeah, and Lehman didn't know Horus was a traitor, so he went there, tried to kill him, and then things happened, and eventually the Thousand Sons became traitors, and no one knows or cares at this point.
Yeah. It's
Custodians
unconfirmed
also
whether
got
they...
tricked. Magnus did done goofed.
Yeah, so Magnus did the silly. Dad wanted to give Magnus a spanking, and then Horus said, "No, Dad changed his mind. Shoot him."
I
I
said,
see.
what was that one? What was that one Space Wolf that basically tricked fucking Magnus with a parchment of paper?
I can't remember, but it was very
But
funny.
it was funny as shit. Like, hey, is that what I think it is? I never said it was.
So yeah, Magnus is a big fucking nerd, and so it's knowledge, sorcery, gimme, like a fucking sticky-handed funny man.
So he made a deal with the Space Wolf to like let all his brothers go. Quickly, like, okay, yeah, sure, give me the paper. What's this? I never said it was what I just thought it was.
Yeah, you just thought it was magic. It's a blank piece of paper. What do you mean, idiot?
And then he laughed and he just walked out a portal.
Yeah.
I think his name was actually like something close to Loki.
Probably.
Of course. Alright, let's continue.
Imperials who step out of line. Out of all the Space Marine legions, only the 7th has claim to Terra as its official homeworld. The Imperial Fist established themselves early on
no,
Wrong.
Stop.
Wrong.
It is not the case. We just don't know shit about Dorn's homeworld. He was born in another world. We just don't know shit about it.
No, we know it was Inuit. Like we know what it was. They're just.
I know we know what it was, but I don't know anything about the culture there. Like,
Eskimo-esque, unironically, I think that's where he gets
Real-
the scrimshaw shit. Well, that's where they get the scrimshaw stuff from.
This is why I'm happy. I just have a bunch of little autismo people in my server that want to yap.
This guy's making my veins pop out a little bit.
It's because I would have just taken this shit at face value, like okay,
He's half right. Like he's half right. So the Imperial Fists are charged with like basically protecting Terra.
Yeah,
but they're not.
But the Imperial, the Imperial Fists are technically a fleet-based chapter, and they recruit from many worlds. One of them including Necromunda, which is funny.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Chicago, but a planet.
Yes, it's a Chicago-based planet.
Chirac in space.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah, it's like
fucking.
They're called
Detroit.
Another word for them is like the Praetorians of Terra, because they're Dorn built the Imperial Palace, which is like the size of like a small country,
half a continent.
Like a small country. It basically they had to level the Everest mountain range in order to build it.
Oh, okay.
So basically, take Mongolia and China. Oh, hey, that's all one giant palace.
Yeah, it's one giant palace. And Dorn was responsible for building that.
And it's now decreed that at least one full chapter has to be on Terra at all times.
Okay, I see. Were there besides the Imperial Fists?
Yes, the Imperial Fists.
The Fists.
Besides the Fists, was there a previous legion that was on Terra before they were, or has it just been?
Typically all the legions came from Terra first.
Well, yeah, they came from Terra, but which ones have remained established on Terra?
Only the Fists.
Only the Fists.
Only the Fists.
It's literally like half their job description is being the first responders besides the custodies to defend Terra.
Okay.
See, that's why during the fucking the sisters, when the Age of Apostasy happened, the custodians were so confused because literally the Imperial Fists were besieging the palace. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you're supposed to be defenders. What are you doing?
Okay,
These women are crazy.
Like they were so bad. Like, why? What are the Fists doing? Why?
The Fists are incredibly stubborn and loyal, and so when they started kicking in the palace doors, they're like, "Wait a minute.
This something's not right here." Like they actually had to break their vow of solitude, to figure out, okay, we need to figure out what's happening because this is stupid.
Yeah.
So it said Dorn is the autistic guy, and his special interest is building walls.
He does love his walls.
I think Perturabo is more autistic, but that's because I'm an Iron Warrior simp. But
that's
you're
because
not
he's autistic for breaking the walls.
Yeah, he's. Yeah, you're right.
I'll find the Alpha Boozer video.
All right, let's keep going with the video.
Troops being proficient in the building of defenses and the nuances of a more aggressive defense style that lent itself very well to the abilities of a Space Marine force. This changed very little once they were reunited with their Primarch Rogel Dorn. Dorn was staunchly loyal and favored uncomplicated, straightforward approaches to every problem. Under his stewardship, the Imperial Fist Legion became as well known for their heavy assault tactics as they were for their ability to defend. This led them to be used quite often as the Emperor's blunt instrument, either breaking sieges that had held on for too long or defending desperate last stands that the Emperor could not afford to lose. In this way, the Imperial Fists gained a rivalry with the Iron Warriors, the latter of which became very bitter that the Fists often received honors for the daring actions that they were assigned to, while they themselves were often relegated to fighting the longer, less exciting parts of those same sieges. For his part, Dorn seemed completely uninterested in that sort of rivalry, thinking only of his duty to the Imperium. It was Dorn who constructed the imposing defenses of the Imperial Palace on Terra, and it was Dorn who accompanied the Emperor onto Horus's battle barge at the climax of the siege. His inability to stop the deaths of both his brother Sanguinius and the Emperor very nearly broke him, and while he very nearly came to blows with his brother Guilliman in the aftermath, he eventually decided it was best to keep what was left of the Imperium together. Today, the Imperial Fists and their successor chapters fight as roving armies, crusading from one system to the next, never settling down. So while the Fists claim Holy Terra as
that's the Black Templars.
That's like Black Templars and the Fist. Like, all the others have, like, worlds that they're stationed on.
Yeah.
Don't make me break out, like, the Crimson Fist chapter, you dumb little bastard.
So the...
I'm sorry, y'all.
The Fists as a whole... Like, as an entire legion, they don't really sit on Terra anymore, but individual chapters decide to move around, but some of them do decide to remain in one place.
Okay, the Black Templars were the biggest example, because their Crusading chapter, they literally never stop.
Yeah.
So we need to do a little clarification between chapters and legions. So the legions are what they were during the heresy.
Yes.
Heresy ended. Guilliman writes the Codex Astartes and says we need to break up the legions because if every little chapter has its own culture, it's harder to corrupt them between chapters.
Okay.
So the idea is that you break up however many thousands of Marines. A chapter is 1,000 Marines strong. It's supposed to be the max. They typically sit around like 700 to 800 because it's hard to make Space Marines. But the on paper max is 1,000. So you take the legions, you break them apart into 1,000 chapter or 1,000 man like mini legions. They get their own heraldry, they get their own homeworlds. They basically do their own thing, form their own cultures. And then one chapter keeps the original heraldry and culture of the legion and just keeps doing what it was doing basically before. So that's what a successor chapter is. So when you say like the Black Templars are a successor chapter of the Imperial Fist, it's because they originally come from the Imperial Fists.
It's because they all stem from that one location.
Yes, they come from the same. They have the same gene father. They have the same gene seed. Like if you were to test it, it would say that's Imperial Fist gene seed.
Yeah, they would basically say Thorn is their dad.
Yes.
It is their dad.
Traditionally, chapters were originally formed from like veterans of the legions. They got the chapter masters and they took a bunch of veterans and they would make their own mini legions basically.
Yep.
And technically the same thing happened to Chaos. They're just instead of calling them chapters, they call war bands.
Yeah, and it's not even an organized thing. It's like
it's not even organized. There was just too much.
Yeah, it's chaos. What about chaos is organized apart from the Iron Warriors?
They're like, we're gonna make our own chapters with blackjack and hookers. And that's basically what they did. Yeah.
Also, yes, I'm sorry. I just found. Oh, hey, this looks like a simple overview of Legion, so we can then move to the chapters. And I wasn't expecting this dude to just glaze over so much.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
Again, this is going to be a every Wednesday, depending on if I have anything important scheduled or not, type thing. So, no worries. There's no, okay, we're only gonna do this for a couple months and then never again. Fuck you. No.
If you do that, Lumi, then every Wednesday becomes Sid's Star Wars streams, where I'm going to take over your channel for 12 hours straight, spurring out about Star Wars.
Is this gonna be like Lumi heresy, like where Sid just tries to take over Lumi's channel? Like,
It's like, all right, chat, we're talking about the Cotton Empire. Here we go, boys.
Like, no.
12-hour stream. Let's go.
Alright, let's keep going. Let's see if we can finish this video before the end of the stream.
Oh, we will. We're not going to be like last time.
Maybe.
And last time, that's because you made the sky mad. Don't blame
us. Their
us.
real headquarters is their ancient mobile battle station called the Phalanx. The 8th Legion, the Night Lords, are one of the
You met the Ultramarines
forces, and that's saying something. The Emperor had his executioners to deal with traitors, and his spies and his scouts, all roles useful for warfare on a galactic scale. But the problem is that, like any tyrant, the Emperor was worried about the masses of people rising up in revolt. No matter how many Marines he made or how many campaigns he fought, the trillions and trillions of people in the New Imperium would always outnumber his armies and could force him to spend too much energy putting out the fires of revolution instead of conquering the enemies of humanity. So the Emperor chose to make himself a terror force. The Legionnaires of the 8th specialized in scare tactics, not like the Space Wolves, who were so terrifying in combat that other warriors would know that they couldn't win. The Night Lords would cut your power and creep in dark shadows. They would take over the Vox feeds and blare the screams of the dying to the rest of the populace. They would flay people and leave them to be found in the town square. They fought dirty, ugly. They made
Teehee twirls hair.
A little bit of a
yes. Yes, I figured when we get to the Night Lords and they start talking about the Night Lords, you'll immediately become your favorite. So he's gotten a lot of things wrong. It wasn't the Emperor who really introduced the ideas of the Night Lords into the Legion.
It was all Conrad.
It was all Conrad, who is.
See.
Yes.
I don't think the Emperor was dumb enough to think that
Conrad
torture was a long-term goal.
I would say if you want to be like charitable, you go Conrad refined it. If you
Yes,
want to go
Sudrad said they used terror to prevent uprisings, but that wasn't the Emperor's intention.
No,
yeah.
so
the Emperor. Oh, sorry. Look, the Emperor's intention for Conrad was to be a judge. He was supposed to be literally the law. That's entire his existence was to be a fair and impartial judge. But
Conrad's upbringing was rough.
His upbringing was shit. He saw crime everywhere, and apparently, according to Arch's video, the highest rate of death on the planet was suicide. Yeah, it was so shit there.
Yeah. And his first meal was some random bum he
was a criminal
after having to dig out of probably a mile or so of concrete.
Probably, yeah, like he became a living comet and then had to crawl his way out as a baby and then ate some dude.
And then he saw that the guy committed crimes. Then he saw other people commit crimes in those memories, so he had to go kill them. And them try to stop crimes, but they said, shit, this isn't working. Oh, torture. Maybe if I scare the shit out of them, they won't do crime no more.
Yeah, it's compliance through fear. That's the
Yes,
thing.
Justin, just human. Arda was the worst mother. This was all her fault.
Yeah.
Let's not mention that thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, the idea was very simple. If you torture like a Mexican cartel, 1,000 people, to convince 100,000 people to give up without a fight, it's just like mathematically a better option than fighting like 1 million people in a war.
Theoretically, it's less bloody, but by God, it's gonna scare the shit out of him.
And all of his brothers like hated him for it, but he's like, but you guys know I'm right. Like,
Sanguinius didn't hate him.
Yeah, Zanguinius pitied him.
He pitied him, but he didn't.
That's different.
But he didn't despise him.
I know, but it's like that's his thing. It's like if I brutally torture 1,000 people to convince 1 million to surrender, then that is just.
Stevatar was the only good one.
It's the lesser of two evils. May as well have 1,000 suffer than 1 million die.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but he had to really stretch this mentality because if he didn't, his mind would have broken so long ago.
He got into a fight with the lion during the heresy, where he's like, "How come you're lauded because you wipe out entire worlds where you burn the very soil, but I, torture 1,000 people to convince a world to surrender, and suddenly I'm the villain? Like, what's this bullshit?"
Well, because you're leaving people literally skinless corpses and leaving the evidence all around. I make sure there's no evidence left.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
okay, if you want to make a point on like, hey, don't rebel. Maybe you do have to go a bit of Ramsey Bolton and just kind of leave the flayed out there as an example.
The problem is though that it didn't work.
Yeah, as soon as
you know what happened after like Conrad left his home planet? It fucking rebelled against him.
So
Yeah.
Conrad literally single-handedly scared the planet straight. He did it so well that even like a decade after he left, there was still basically zero crime, but inevitably they rebelled, basically out of fear of Conrad.
Well,
they were
that
still
means you have
loyal
to
to
beat
the
them a little
Imperium.
better.
And the
I
problem
mean,
was
you can
though that
only
his legion
flay
was
so
so
many children, Lumi. There's only so much flayed babies until people just stop caring.
And the problem, he didn't even like his methods. He despised himself, and the fact that he saw himself and his legion so badly, like when it was time to purge, he wouldn't know where to stop. Like, I don't know where to stop with these guys. I hate all
Yeah,
of
here's
them.
the problem. Like Conrad didn't enjoy flaying babies. He literally did it as this is the lesser of two evils, so I'm gonna
But
do
he
it.
saw his sons enjoy it.
Yeah, then his son started to enjoy it, and then he started to get very sad about it, because then he's like, well, now I gotta start killing them, and I don't want to, because they're my kids, they're my sons. I don't want to do this. But it got worse and worse, and then he got depresso espresso.
He was depresso espresso from the beginning. That's the sad part.
And by the end of the heresy, he was just a gremlin person.
He was.
Yeah,
he made a flesh puppet of
basically
the Emperor.
lost his mind.
I see.
Oh no, that was way after the heresy.
Yeah, it still happened though.
Flesh
Yeah,
puppet of the okay.
he basically went insane at the end of the heresy. It was rough.
Oh fuck, he was lost.
Poor
Made a good
Cruise in
GPS
his
system
living
though.
flesh room. The fuck do you mean living flesh room?
He stitched together a bunch of slaves and serfs, like all. Okay, Lumi, you've seen Jeepers Creepers, right?
Yes.
You know the scene where they're underground and there's the wall of bodies.
Yes.
It's that, but they're alive.
Oh. I see.
Yes, he went a little crazy.
Yeah,
just a
they
little,
went
a little goofy.
Yeah, they
when
Oh, go ahead.
Conrad finally snapped was when he accidentally killed someone he deemed as innocent.
Yeah,
And then
he
he's like,
killed the
oh, well, shit, I'm no better than all the people I've been flaying alive. Well, guess better go help Horus now. It
It's
oversimplified,
the rabbit
but
hole
that's...
mentality went deeper and deeper.
I see.
Conrad had visions that made him kind of momentarily go insane, like visions of the future. And then he killed a servant, like an innocent servant, by accident. And
Like he was
literally
purely
was like,
innocent.
"Well, I'm literally just a criminal now. I can't deal with this. I don't know what's going on anymore." And then he kind of snapped.
And he also kind of had a dual personality.
Anyway,
Conrad was mad.
Yeah, one fun fact before we move on. Yeah, they got so good at torturing they could actually flay somebody alive and keep that person alive and in constant agony for weeks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Based. I know. Based.
Based. Yeah, okay, let's get
Lumi is like,
made the idea of fighting the Imperium terrifying, and it wasn't long before the other Primarchs took a stand. And here is probably the biggest instance of cowardice by the Emperor himself. It's very clear that the Emperor created the Night Lords to be this way and encouraged them, ordered them to act like this. Just like with Angron of the World Eaters, the Emperor knew that the Primarch of the 8th, Conrad Kurz, was racked with mental instability brought on by conditions that might have been curable, but chose to do nothing and disavow the Night Lords when it became known that they committed acts of terror, even and especially upon the citizens of the Imperium. Needless to say that the Night Lords decided to work with Horus and the other traitors when the time came, even though they never accepted worship of the Chaos Gods. Their only goal post-heresy
Mechanicus on duty, I think he...
tear down the rotting edifice of the Imperium that betrayed them. Originally designed...
This guy, Aaron Dembski Bowden? Fuck!
Yeah, I was about to say, if you want to move to a different video, this guy just seems a bit too off.
I like hearing you guys correct everything because I know that there are some VTubers and other people who just watch like this video specifically or videos like this and just take everything at face value. That's why I like having you guys around so you can correct it. And then I can also share along with other VTubers who stumble across this video and be like, hey, yeah, no, this guy's just retarded.
Lumi's like, yes, my little autists, go forth, correct the record.
Yes.
Burn them all.
So yeah, it's not that the Emperor, like the terror tactics were not accidental. It was their doctrine.
Hold on a second, hold on. Reverend Norris, thank you so much. I forget what the SEK money is, but thank you so much. Love the stream, though. You all sound like this call is made using cans and strings.
Swedish.
You also missed my first chat, but I see you're doing it in order, so no worries. Marines Malevolent for the one. Yeah, it's like... the mic qualities between everyone is completely different. And so it's hard to it's hard to balance the audio when, like, some people are super quiet, some people are loud, but then I have to turn them down, but then sometimes you can't hear them.
I can adjust my shit.
It's a whole thing. If I can send these guys like the same microphone that I had, that I have, well, I could just fucking, like, you know, it's like this microphone is $40 and it works very nicely.
I'll fix my mic eventually.
I'm sorry if I'm on the shit headphone mic.
Same.
Yours is still better than mine.
But no, it's I will work on balancing audio.
I know, Lumi,
for
you're
next
also
time.
playing the drums with your microphone. I don't know why you're trying to talk shit with us. Flippers is right.
Am I playing drums on my microphone?
Yes, you are. You're tapping it constantly.
Are you like tapping?
It's been going on the whole time. I thought I was going insane.
No, I'm not tapping my microphone.
Something was.
Were you
Someone
tapping your
was playing the
desk?
bongos in the background.
Probably because I was grabbing things.
I think Arch was trying to send Morse code through the basement. I don't know.
Also, funny fact, Lumi, that Conrad is actually.
Are you telling me he's conscious? I'm gonna have to take care of that. Let me go knock him back out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just give
Conrad
him
is Arch's
curse,
favorite.
Like body pillow, he'll be happy.
Conrad's pretty cool.
Conrad
he's
is very
the only
cool.
Primarch with a conscience because he actually thought he was doing incorrect things.
I see.
Like all the other traitor Primarchs, Conrad is the only one who unironically questioned his motives, like, very consistently throughout the entire heresy. Up until his death, he was questioning whether he was doing the right thing. Like that's what the puppet of the Emperor thing was about. He makes a flesh statue of the Emperor and literally has like a debate with it.
Yeah.
And it's unclear whether the statue debating back with him is Conrad's insane mind or if it's actually like the Emperor manifesting with his powers. It's kind
or
of
the demon.
But
it's left up to
whole
interpretation.
The whole time he's blaming the Emperor. You made me this way. You made me this monster. I didn't want to be this psychopathic killer. I wanted to bring justice. I wanted to do good, and you made me this way. And that's like half true. Conrad's just trying to kind of justify this because otherwise he's a bad person. And Conrad, again, was supposed to be a judge. If he's a bad person, that makes all the things he did bad, which makes his whole life being a criminal and an evildoer. And he can't live with that, so he has to blame somebody.
Okay.
Yes. He's very sad. I mean, he is like half right, and that the Emperor made him that way. The other problem is that the Chaos Gods fucked with his brain when he was a baby.
That's why he has those nasty visions.
Yeah, because Sanguinius can see the future too, but he doesn't go crazy from it. Conrad does. It's also why Perturabo is as crabby as he is, because the Chaos Gods fucked with his brain too, and made it so that he always can see the Eye of Terror, which is just a portal to hell, and he described it as an oppressive force on his life, which is why he's a crabby baby.
Hold on. I just heard tapping.
Oh, you can hear that? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was fiddling.
She hears it for herself. Oh.
Okay, so that tapping wasn't me.
No, that was me fiddling with something. I didn't know if that was coming through.
No, I heard it. And Boog, thank you for the 20 Mexicans. You got 20 pounds of autism and a 2-pound stream. Yes.
Yes.
You're smuggling people now, Lumi? Jesus Christ.
Well, my family can take up like an entire park for our family reunions.
All right, you said it, not me, Lumi.
What?
You can't call me racist for that.
It's not racist if it's true. We literally had to reserve like half of an entire park for everyone to be able to
Damn.
show up.
All right, that's going into Google Doc.
I had a thought. I'm gonna keep it to myself though.
We're good. It's
I
time for the
won't, I'll
space.
say
It's
it.
time for the space vampires.
Yes, space vampires.
Yes, we're the
Catholic
pretty
space.
boys.
My boys.
As one of a handful
Boys.
of shock troop armies, the Legion that would become the Blood Angels were often deployed either as the very tip of the Emperor's spear or wherever a stubborn enemy needed to be wiped out wholesale. It was a job the 9th Legion excelled at, often replenishing lost Marines with new stock taken from their enemies, and in this way the Legion gained a reputation for returning from dangerous campaigns with the same number of Marines it had departed with. But that wasn't the only rumor. All Marines are capable of eating flesh to gain information or emergency sustenance, but the 9th Legion...
They can eat flesh to gain information?
It's one of
So,
their.
That's all.
there
That's literally
is-
all Space Marines.
Yeah, so there's a bullshit organ they get as part of becoming a space marine that's definitely on the more magic side of things. It's basically, let's say a marine lands on a random world. They find whatever is like that world's equivalent of a deer. They'll kill the deer, eat its brain, and somehow they'll get all the memories of the alien deer and be like, there's fresh water over there. I can eat these berries and plants and not get sick.
This
Oh,
is the
hey, there are
terrain. This
predators
is-
over there. Yada, yada, yada.
It's not even
This is the
necessarily the
terrain.
brain.
I'm
It's
just saying,
it's
like,
supposed to be the brain.
Is it supposed to be the brain? Oh.
it's supposed to be the brain.
Generally,
Now, if they do that to a human, it's like, oh, hey, I'm just suddenly getting all their life knowledge. Oh, hey, this dude was a heretic. I now know where his buddies are.
I know where his base is. I know the terrain. I know his defenses. Da 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 da.
There's
Ooh,
only
I
one.
ate-
I see.
There's only one chapter that really delves into this, and that's the mortifactors.
No,
Yeah.
they do it for different reasons though. They do.
Oh,
They do it for, like,
Space Wolves,
religious.
the Space Wolves do it a lot.
Oh, I bet they do.
They
The
it's
flip.
part of the cadence.
There is a funny successor chapter of the Blood Angels known as the Flesh Eaters, who when they eat.
No eaters.
No.
There's two.
Is it actually eaters? Oh.
There's
Yeah,
two.
they
Flesh
eat
eaters, flesh
when they
eaters.
eat the flesh of their enemies, they get visions of Sanguinius.
Yeah, that's why they do.
Is that where the orc?
Is that where the
video
orc
from Alpha
origin
Yes,
came
comes
that's
from?
where that meme comes from.
Yes.
Give me burger.
I am
I
also
hunger for burger.
Give me some orc meat. I will cook
Heretic
my son.
burger.
No!
Yeah, no. The meme for that
Alright,
though is that the orcs are mushrooms. They're tripping on mushrooms. That's the
They're
meme for
tripping on
that.
mushrooms
I
super
see.
hard.
Okay.
By the way, I gotta go
It's
grab
called the
food. I will be back
Osmata
in a little
or
bit.
something.
Okay.
Is what the organ's called. The osmotum or something. The Primarchs have it too. That's why when Conrad ate the homeless man, he's like, "Oh, you're a criminal, and I know all your criminal friends."
Would eating the flesh of like Eldar and everything make them
Yeah.
sick?
Well,
Or
not
will
sick-
they
no,
also
not
get
sick,
information?
but they
Or is there
learn-
like a
they might
trade-off?
learn something.
In one of the in a book, I think it's the 5th Uriel Ventress book. One of the scout marines ate the brain of a Tau, and gained basically all their patrol routes and everything for infiltrating their base of operations.
Mhm.
Also learned how to use their rail rifles.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not like literal. It's the knowledge they gained is whatever the plot kind of demands.
Mhm.
It's not super consistent, but generally it's like the Primarchs. A Primarch would learn everything. A Space Marine would learn like terrain,
Tidbits.
patrols, basic level tactics and stuff like that.
Okay, I see.
That's what really made Conrad go crazy because he ate the first homeless man and he's like, "Oh, you're a criminal, and I'm like an infant, and these are all your criminal friends. I gotta eat something, so I'm gonna eat your friends."
When
Yeah,
they but when they do eat the flesh of Xenos, they do tend to they immediately go back to their chaplains and apothecaries to get to quote unquote get the taint flushed from their systems.
Yeah, because it's technically a sort of like taint heresy thing.
You
The
know, it's Xenos.
Mortifactors do it
Ew.
for different reasons. There's also a different Space Marine. I think it's the Iron Snakes. They do this. They eat like parts of the flesh of like their veteran Marines because it helps the newer like Marines get a little bit better in terms of tactics and shit.
Oh, they
It's like
learned
a
their
little
knowledge.
cheat. It's a little cheat to train them faster.
Huh.
Hmm.
They're like the only ones who do it because everyone else is like, bro, you can't be eating your brothers. That's kind of fucking weird. Can you like
But
not?
it's useful.
It's like I can see the thought process here, because
Oh, yeah,
one, it's
it makes
useful,
sense,
and
but-
two, it's like, for example, with some tribes, it is a way of honoring the dead.
That's what the mortifactors do, but like everyone looks at the mortifactors like they're a step away from becoming traitors, and they're not wrong to do that because chaos is real.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start seeing Space Marines engage cannibalism, that's a bad sign.
Thankfully, the Inquisitor that saw it all, like, nope, we're fine. We're fine for now.
Oh no, that Inquisitor immediately then decided to take part in a Mortifactor's blood ritual to identify the primary node beast of a Tyranid swarm.
Yeah.
That Inquisitor's name? Cryptman.
Oh,
Cryptman is
I think,
an interesting name.
The second Uriel Ventress book.
I think he sounds familiar.
Cryptman was the Inquisitor so insane and radical that he was kicked out of the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimothy said the World Eaters also abused the veteran eating knowledge exploit during the heresy before
Autek Mor dropped a moon on them.
dropped a moon on them.
The Chad Crimson Talon.
Autek Mor, they did the flesh thing kind of. It's actually they were doing Raptors shit.
There's not any Raptors. They were just making them faster, which is scary.
Yes, it's the Raptors formula.
I don't think it was the Raptors formula.
As far as we know, yeah.
I thought it was just like they were learning how to produce Space Marines even faster.
Well, we know that the super sneaky Marines. I can't remember the name. The blue ones.
Raven Guard?
Oh, God. No, blue ones.
The Alpha Legion.
Yeah, we know the Alpha Legion has the Raptors formula.
Well, yes, they did, but I don't think they shared it. I wouldn't be
as-
surprised if they didn't share it with the World Eaters, though.
Well, I mean, it would make sense.
Before we
right.
get into mumble, let's
Yeah.
video.
Okay.
Became known for ritualistically eating their slain foes after battle, indulging in a red thirst for blood. This reputation pushed them further from the rest of the Imperium as they were shunned and slowly began to devolve into feral murderers. And then Sanguinius was found. The angelic Primarch had grown up on the world of Baal, and when he was given his legion, the incredibly psychic Primarch instantly felt a connection to his gene sons. Instead of demanding they swear an oath to him, Sanguinius swore an oath to them. They would either rise together or fall together. Under his leadership, the Blood Angels went from pariahs to one of the most decorated assault legions in the Imperium. It's no surprise then that the Marines of the Blood Angels Legion had the strongest bond with their Primarch, only strengthened by his psychic abilities. When Horus slew Sanguinius aboard his ship at the climax of the Siege of Terra, the entire legion broke, succumbing to an illness which would become known as the Black Rage. As the rage takes hold, afflicted Marines begin to believe they are Sanguinius, facing down their treacherous brother Horus, and dying. No one knows how or when it will affect a Blood Angels Marine, but the effects are almost always irreversible, with notable exceptions. Today,
That almost sounds like hysteria.
It basically is.
It
Okay.
is, but real.
They couldn't handle the death of their Primarch. They were broken.
The best explanation for why it exists is it's a malfunctioning with that like organ eating organ, the one that gives memories. So when a Blood Angel, successor or otherwise, succumbs to the Black Rage, they don't just go like insane. They literally see themselves through Sanguinius's eyes fighting Horus before his death.
And there's a lot of Horus in front of them.
That
And they-
sounds horrifying.
It's horrifying for the enemy because Horus then becomes that Chaos Space Marine they were fighting.
Yeah.
And then they kill that Space Marine, and then there's another Horus, and another one, and another one, and
So many Horus. Horai, even.
they can't distinguish between friend and foe, really. Which is
Except
why
for maybe
when-
their own Blood Angels.
No, not really.
Well, what about the Death Company then? Aren't they also come to the Black Rage, but yet they can still be wrangled?
They're wrangled. They're not safe. There's a difference.
Yes.
It is a case of you put you drop the junk company in and you funnel them towards the enemy.
You point them at the enemy, and then you also walk the other direction.
Well, let's walk the other direction more. Start running for dear start running for your life in the
Yeah.
other direction.
Just because I read a book that basically like depicted like normal blood angels with Death Company, and they were, well, the Death Company didn't attack the normal blood angels, so
There's varying levels to the Black Rage, but generally the idea is that they can't distinguish between friend and foe.
yes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
sometimes
they can, sometimes they can't.
yeah, sometimes the Black Rage will come on in an instant, and sometimes the Black Rage will, still the Blood Angel can suppress the Black Rage for a long period of time, eventually succumbing, e.g., Captain Tycho.
Yeah, it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not that they see Sanguinius's death through his eyes. They literally become like leagues above themselves in terms of swordship, like they are Sanguinius. Like they get better as fighters. They don't feel pain. They become better tacticians. Like it's not even just a whole like, oh, I'm Sanguinius, I'm gonna kill you, Horus. It's like, no, I'm gonna fight like Sanguinius because I am Sanguinius.
I'm trying to. Granted, I know that there's nerds that have been pondering this long before I started thinking, started getting into this. But it seems like, okay. So are the Blood Angels still constantly finding new members to join them,
Yes.
or is it
Yes.
okay?
They have their own home and everything with Ball.
Does the rage affect even the new?
Yes, it's a
It
genetic
affects literally
defect
everything.
of
It's
the
a
gene
genetic
seed.
thing.
Yeah,
Even the
it seems like
Yeah.
it might be a defect with the gene seed.
It is.
then.
It's
Oh, it
it's
is. It is a defect.
It is.
Okay.
Even the successor chapters have the same thing.
I mean,
Interesting.
even like Sanguinius took great efforts to make sure no one ever saw his son succumb to the red thirst.
Yeah, because that was still a problem. This is why he also had them do the art while he was alive, is to help them suppress that bloodthirsty nature they always kind of
Yeah.
had. He did his best to make sure nobody else knew about it.
And
but
this is why Corrin wanted Sanguinius really bad.
yes, this is why he was his first pick, and Sanguinius told him to suck a fat one, and it was pretty cool.
Yes.
I see.
And this is why Sanguinius is best boy.
Anytime you see a Blood Angel in black armor, but with like the Blood Angel symbol, that's a Death Company Marine. That's a Blood Angel that's succumbed to the Black Rage.
I see.
They get black armor. They typically get whatever weapons they had before they were crazy, and like when they're used in battle, they just kind of, like I said, they point them at the enemy, and then they just kind of go the other direction. Because they kind of consider them already dead. They're basically gone. This is their one last chance at like an honorable death.
They're
But every
basically kamikaze.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, and every successor chapter deals with the survivors of such a kamikaze attack differently.
Flesh tears.
Most of them just kind of have to execute them after the battle, or if they're still like semi-sane, they'll like tard wrangle them back on the ship and then deploy them in the next fight.
The
It's-
flesh
it's
tears
different.
use them every time.
Yeah, the Flesh Tearers they're kind of the big exception. They do not execute their Death Company Marines no matter what. They
Well, it's because
always
they have
recover
like
them.
an abnormally large amount of them. They keep finding like, oh shit, we can't waste them though. We're gonna die out. We need to
Yeah.
keep using them.
They're stuck in the hard place of, we have too many Death Company Marines to be an effective fighting force, but we also don't have any regular recruits, so we just kind of have to keep them around. And we just have to keep using them.
And what's even more terrifying than a Death Company Blood Angel? A Death Company Blood Angel that's in a dreadnought.
That happens.
That does happen.
Man, that
You know
sounds
what-
like an absolutely horrifying experience, especially like
You know what dreadnoughts are, right, Lumi?
those are the big ass
They're the
death
walkers
machines,
with
right?
Marines.
The
in them,
walking
yeah.
coffins.
Not the big ones, but they're about the size of like a small like tank, and they have wounded Space Marines in them.
Yeah.
Yes, Blood Angel successor chapters, sometimes those guys succumb to the Black Rage
Oh.
in the dreadnought.
Oh.
Have fun containing that.
Yeah. I looked up their stats recently just for tabletop funsies. It's fucking horrifying.
Trying to think. So it's like every single Blood Angel just has to deal with the fact that someday, eventually, they'll never know when, they're just going to succumb to this.
Yes.
Yes.
It's-
Unless your
it's-
name is Mephiston and you're the special Gary Stew.
Hey, he's like the only one, so it's
He's
fine.
like the only one. He
Mephiston
can't
has
be-
beaten the Black Rage twice.
Mm.
Or you're Dante.
Dante's a Giga Chad. He gets the exception. He gets
Yes,
the pass.
Dante is actually a Chad.
And Dante just wants to fucking die.
But guess what? Gilliman
Dante's
won't let him.
Dude,
I want to
Dante's
die. How about a
1,000
promotion?
years old. He's 1,000 years old. Of course he wants to fucking die.
If I was living
mean,
for
I would-
1,000 years, I'd probably want to die too. I think anybody would.
I mean, if you
Outside
were
of
in Dante's shoes, you would absolutely want to die after 1,000 years. The funny part is he
Uh,
was promoted not because he was the best, because that's all they had.
yeah,
Oh.
that's
That's kind of sad.
fun fact. Outside of Space Marines, inside of Dreadnoughts, one in particular, Dante is the oldest living Space Marine that's not inside of a Dreadnought.
The
1,000
oldest,
years.
if we're including Dreadnoughts, that's Bjorn.
Yeah, Bjorn is the actual oldest, including Dreadnoughts, but he's 10,000
He
years old.
literally fought with Primarchs.
He
Wait,
He
hold on.
claimed the Emperor liked him.
Go ahead.
Jimothy says, also there's the Angels tiers, jump pack destroyers with rad grenade launchers.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're a
Like,
little
there's a
special
Blood
unit.
Angels graphic novel. Oh my god, I want it.
Yeah.
Wonder if
Yeah, I
they
think
still
that's like
sell
some
it.
old stuff that's really good.
There's a animation that GW did that covers some Blood Angels, and it has like a mini moment where like a Blood Angel from the Death Company, from the not the Death Company, the Death Watch meets his other brothers, and they have this really good heart to heart. I'm gonna find it and send it to you later.
Oh, it's so good. I know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
And then
let's
there's
keep-
that part. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's keep going with the video. We're almost halfway through, guys.
We're doing good. It's
We're doing great.
fine.
Today, the Blood Angels are one of the strongest chapters of the Adeptus Astartes, but the rage still afflicts them, forcing Blood Angels' leadership to place their Raven comrades into doomed squads called the Death Company, so that
Raven.
they might seek their end in battle. The 10th Legion had always been as relentless as their Primarch, even before Ferrus Manus was found. Called the Stormwalkers during the Unification Wars, the 10th Legion had a very simple, straightforward approach to warfare, not unlike the warriors of the Death Guard. In fact, by the beginning of the Great Crusade, it was apparent that the Stormwalkers had gained an affinity for using heavy vehicles and mobile artillery pieces to simply advance towards an enemy until it wasn't a problem anymore. This hardly changed when Ferrus Manus was given the Legion, and it was named the Iron Hands in honor of the Primarch's literal metal hands. What Manus really brought to his Legion was a need to purge weakness. The warriors of the 10th became known for using their advanced machinery to turn aside enormous enemy armies, breaking overwhelming forces with their technology. The Marines of this legion would also make extensive use of bionic replacements for limbs, as the sort of fighting they were used to often led to mangled soldiers. This led to the Legion having a much stronger working relationship with the Tech Priests of Mars compared to other legions. This affinity for machines, coupled with their belief that the flesh is weak, led to some dire consequences after the heresy began. Fulgrim and Ferrus Manus had been some of the closest friends out of all the Primarchs, but when Fulgrim tried to get Manus
What the fuck was the little thing?
Oh, just like, Ferris drew Fulgrim a little picture, like best buds, they're
had
best
been some
bros.
of the closest friends out of
It makes it so sad because they were honestly homies.
They were actually the greatest homies. When fucking Fulgrim killed Ferris, he was so distraught. He got possessed by a demon.
He was possessed by a
And
demon
then-
lord, and then he cried, holding his brother's
And
head.
then unpossessed himself because
And then
reflect-
they fucking ruined his character so bad.
Yeah, I know.
It was awful.
The flesh is weak was post heresy shit.
But yeah, I was about to say, like, it's funny because the Iron Hands actually get, like, the wording of their Primarch wrong. Like, it
Oh.
took a salamander to correct them on, like, what Ferris actually means by this.
It's not even that. It's not even Ferris's quote. It's a Vulcan quote that he told to Ferris.
Yeah,
So,
hold on. I'm
they-
it's a short ass video. I'll DM this to you, Lumi, just because it's short as hell, but it's
funny.
yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Short
Vulcan
Stars
tells-
Anonymous.
somehow extended to 2.5 hours, so nothing.
Yes.
Hell yeah,
That's how
bro.
it works.
That's power of autism, baby.
I love autism.
Then nothing
Yeah, no,
bad happened after.
Nothing
I don't know.
bad.
Whenever you guys say, "Oh yeah, nothing bad ever happens to these people," usually it's the worst thing imaginable.
Yeah, that is the implication with Warhammer. Nothing bad happened. Something bad definitely happened.
Fulgrim, I need to find the fan art of like Fulgrim like crying, holding Ferrus Manus's head in his arms, like embracing him into his chest. It's very sad.
It's depressing.
It is.
It's sad though because the Iron Hands depict in everything gets their ass kicked so badly. It's actually no one has only 2 fans of them.
There's only 2 Iron Hands fans, and God are they crying because GW fucking hates them.
It's true. They've never
Him and
get new lore.
Fulgrim literally had a competition to see who was better at foraging, and both said the other won and swapped weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, it
They
was.
both,
Okay,
like,
that's
it
cool.
was funny because I would expect a hammer to be made by Ferris, but he made a sword.
It was the
and Fulgrim
biggest
made a
homie
hammer.
moment ever. It was so cool.
It was.
They're like, no, bro, you're the coolest. No, bro, you're the coolest. When I trade, yeah, bro.
We're both winners, bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
Cut your head
friendship.
off, bro.
And then they touch penises.
The fuck?
I mean, that's the kind of energy it gave off. They're just.
It's
big
not gay if you
homies.
say no homo.
Not gay if you
It's not
say
gay.
it's just a sword fight
It's not gay if you say for the emperor.
for the Emperor. Do you think that if Ferris buys shampoo, he just gets Head and Shoulders?
Ha.
Shut the fuck up.
Ban that man.
Ban him right now.
Give him a boog treatment.
Give him a boob
Not gay, they're
treatment.
little brothers. No,
No,
that just means it's incestuously gay.
not gay.
Look,
They're
legally-
little brothers. You're talking to the wrong person here.
Yeah,
It just
Lumi
means
is
it's
the
incestuously
Josie
gay.
queen.
Also, it's illegal to talk about the Iron Hands without at least making free decapitation jokes.
Yeah, GW put that out in an FAQ.
Really?
No.
No, but you believed it, didn't you?
It's GW. Anything that would make
Oh,
things
God.
less fun,
Listen.
I would instantly be like, oh yeah, that sounds like.
Listen, they called the Ultramarines the 8th Legion. They literally can't get this shit straight.
They don't. Yeah, there was this like little like blurb on the website where they called the Ultramarines the 8th Legion, which is the Night Lord's Legion, and like
Yep.
this is
I
official
see.
GW website shit. It's like you guys are fucking.
You don't know your own shit at all.
And this was like years ago before all the bullshit happened. This is an old piece of flub.
It's memes at this point. Like, bro, I love the Ultramarines. They're my favorite torture legion. Like, what?
I love when the Ultramarines flayed that old dude.
Like, it was cool, bro.
Hey, hold on. Ferris had temper tantrums rivaling those of Angron too, strong enough to warrant a special marine to literally tard wrangle him out of said tantrum.
It's true.
Yes.
But the Tard Wrangler was in fact a cool guy though. He literally
Yes.
just like said like, this is why I keep you around. You cool the lava in my veins essentially.
Yeah.
I
Only
see.
one man could handle the Gorgon, and that was I can't remember his name, but he was also.
He's like
a chick.
he's the first company captain though.
Yeah, he was like a
I've
second
returned with
command.
food.
And
Yeah,
then
he
he
was
Welcome
died.
bringing-
back. Do you have some for the rest of the class?
Kind of.
No.
Fuck you mean kind of?
Watch a video in the Warhammer channel going over why Space Wolves are not Space Vikings. Okay, I will take a look at that later. Thank you very much.
That sounds like a lot of cope right there.
Oh, it's
Sounds-
look. It's not the fact that they're not space Vikings. It's Panker's network. He doesn't like the Space Wolves very much.
Pancreas is more of a fantasy and AOS fan than a Warhammer, than a 40k fan.
And
that's
in
great.
40k, he's more of a Xenos fan than an Imperial
He
fan.
is. He openly admits he's an Eldar fanboy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
God,
yeah,
we're talking about Ori now.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
Also,
the
who
video.
do I need to ban?
Doesn't matter.
Nobody.
Continue video.
Okay.
Continue the video.
I just was listening and heard ban.
All the Primarchs, but when Fulgrim tried to get Manus to join the Traitors, the stoic Iron Hands Primarch tried to kill him. When they finally met again on the battlefield, neither man could kill the other until Fulgrim.
Okay, just looking at this picture and because of how pretty he is, and just how dark his armor is, I'm just like, God damn it! I'm seeing Guts and Griffith literally everywhere.
You
know what? That
are
wouldn't-
so, it's Lumi. You don't know how accurate you are. It's not even funny.
God damn
It's
it!
not.
But it's
Remember,
But it's a
GW is
case of,
very original
Griffith-
company.
But it's a case of if Griffith decapitated Guts instead of leaving Guts alive to be hunted down by demons for all
No.
of his life.
Is that the fact Guts does still hunt demons? He just came back as a specter, leading a demon Space Marine Legion.
Yeah.
No, not demon.
They're
angels.
we're not gonna get into semantics. They're demons. Okay, shut up.
The demon shadow. Stuff your face and shut up.
Yeah,
Nah.
go be fat in the corner.
Fine, I will eat my stuffed crust Domino's pizza myself. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
fine. Go be fat.
Go be
Fine,
rich.
I will.
Guts wasn't left alive. He escaped thanks to that weird knight dude. Skull Knight. Yes, literally the best boy ever.
We see him for like 10 minutes total.
I love Skull
See him
Knight.
for anything because it's
He's
been a
fucking great.
manga eclipse.
Look,
you don't see him.
my only exposure to Berserk is the original anime that was put out in the 90s.
Go
My only
read the
exposure to
manga.
Berserk
I will
is
give
Dark
you
Souls.
a site that you can read everything.
My
Oh,
exposure-
but,
You can
but
become
I'm
a member
retarded
for
and I
Lumi
can't
and-
read.
just put
No,
the
hey,
book
that
upside down,
works.
You'll read it.
Become a member. We did book club for all of Berserk.
You know what's
Yeah.
gonna be more retarded if we can't get through this video in the next hour.
Oh, that's a lost cause.
So the Legion of the Damned.
No, no,
No.
shut the fuck up. Play the
We'll
video.
continue the video.
Hands.
I will
Continue the
smack
video.
you with a frying pan.
Why? You're up. How are you gonna do that? You're upside down.
Shut the fuck up.
I have a magic trick for at least chat. It's called muting Discord. Alright, let's continue.
In his grief, gave himself to the demon in his sword, and Manus was decapitated. The Iron Hands shattered, with different factions following various captains on missions of vengeance. This almost destroyed what was left of the Legion, with factions blaming the traitors for their cowardice, their allies for their lack of strength, and even blaming Manus and the Iron Hands captains for indulging in their emotions. Seeking to purge this weakness, the remaining Iron Hands became cold, calculating fighters who want nothing more than to purge the weakness of humanity. There has been some pushback against the doctrine recently, but the Iron Hands remain ruthlessly emotionless as a whole. Sorry, your legion is in another castle. What's going on? There can't be two missing legions, can there?
Yes, there can be.
The 12th Legion was born as the Warhounds and immediately established themselves as an effective assault force. Their discipline in training and combat.
So they're called the World Eaters. Their flag is a dog. There was a missed opportunity here. It could have been a serpent.
So they were first called the Warhounds. So most of the legions had a name before they met the Primarchs. They
Okay.
were called the Warhounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
why I said like the
Missed
white scars were the
opportunity.
Star Hunters.
And then Angron changed it.
'Cause, you
Not
know,
all of them
anger.
did though, which is boring. I wish they
Yeah.
all did. The Star
Did what?
Hunters were the white scars. You know? The Dusk Raiders were the Death Guard. I wish they
Just
all had.
Just for a point of order, the World Eaters, the ones that fell to Khorne, are one of the most depressing legions.
Yeah, it's actually kind of depressing that they fell.
Yeah. Karm was a cool guy.
Angron was
Yeah.
supposed to be the healer Primarch.
Instead, he was a petty
supposed to be
prick.
the white. He was the white mage, and instead he got a funny brain.
Instead, he
Yes,
was
and
like, I don't know.
funny brain immediately became the barbarian.
Instead, he became a Hell Knight.
And he didn't want to, and he doesn't like it. Well,
Well-
he likes it now because he doesn't have a choice. But
He doesn't feel nothing now.
Deployments was similar to legions like the Luna Wolves or the early Blood Angels, but their aggression and ferocity once engaged in combat was much closer to the disposition of the Space Wolves. The Emperor even kept the Warhounds in reserve for much of the Unification War in case he needed to keep other legions in line, again, not unlike the Space Wolves. However, early in the Great Crusade, the prison colony on the asteroid Cerberus rose up in revolt, led by a small group of Thunder Warriors who had somehow survived the purges. Having no other legion nearby, the Emperor sent in the 12th, and the Warhounds went to work. The invasion began at 0300 hours, and by 0808, the all-clear was given by the Warhounds' commander. After being asked what the state of the prisoners was, the commander replied that he had not been ordered to take any. And from then on, the Legion was used as the premier assault group of the Imperium and was embedded in the 13th Expeditionary Fleet, working alongside elements of the Imperial Army. And it was under these conditions that the 12th Legion was reunited with their Primarch Angron, who was angry about being ripped away from his gladiator family and decided to kill a bunch of his Marines about it. Eventually, they calmed down, but the rest of the history of this legion is centered around them trying and failing to gain approval of their angry Gene father. they changed their name to the World Eaters. They began to act more recklessly in their assault actions. They started getting implants similar to Angron's that drove them insane with rage, and none of it worked. When their Primarch sided with Horus because of his unfair and frankly cruel treatment at the hands of the Emperor, the World Eaters obediently followed him right into damnation.
God, this guy is such a chaos simp.
Yeah,
I want
Yeah.
mini clarify.
Unfair treatment. Fuck off.
Mini clarify. They didn't fall willingly. I think out of all the Traitor Legions, the World Eaters had the most infighting of like.
Oh, they did.
Traitors.
No,
like,
that was
I
the Death
see.
Guard. Death Guard
nah,
actually had the most.
It's one of the. They're either that
One
most
of
or second
them.
most. There was
Your
a
question, Lumi?
massive.
Huh? Oh no, I was just saying I see. But also, I gotta quick go to the bathroom, so you guys, I don't know, fizzle out for a second.
All right. Let me
Okay.
crack open my comic books chat. We're gonna talk about the ancient Rakata Empire
right
and the
back.
beginnings.
Also,
of the
we're
Star
gonna
Wars universe.
open up the book of slurs quickly. Hold on.
Not yet. I'm not on Akko's stream. I can say
Damn
it
it.
on that one.
I mean, yeah.
I can do.
Queen
Yeah,
gave me
either
pass.
way,
That's-
the
Here's my painting scheme for the Iron Snakes chapter I'm currently painting. It is a very, very good. They are a very, very fun chapter with some wacky practices, and they got their asses handed to them last night by fucking Eldar.
why are
Don't
your
worry about it,
models
it's fine.
upside down?
Well, actually, it was kind of fuck off.
I was wondering
Alright.
if you did that.
Okay, Australia's the one that's fucking upside down. We're
Close
just
enough. It's
we're
basic-
just
Okay, why are they at a 45-degree angle then? Jesus, happy?
we just have a bunch of Tolkien orcs running around the place. You know how
Yeah,
hard it is to get to work when you have to get through an army of Urukai.
Man, I almost forgot I was live on someone else's stream. I almost said something very bad. I need to be careful. Who asked about what are the best slurs in chat? I can't say. DM me through Lumi's Discord and I will tell you.
Well, I can give you one of the greatest New Zealand slurs.
What, Australian?
No, egg.
Oh, how fucking dare you. Alright, shadow ban him.
all right. What's your name in the YouTube chat?
I think it's Lumi Angler is the...
All right, Lumi Angler. Oh, Mr. Sandvich. Put user in timeout. I'm not gonna do that. The one time I decide, oh hey, I'm gonna abuse my powers for funny joke, is gonna be the time I shouldn't, and I'll be
Yeah,
sad.
for shame on you.
Yeah. The day you retire is when you go all out.
Just ban everyone, like, oh, let it all burn.
Yeah, it was either I do want to say it was the Warhounds were like up there on the mount that stayed loyal.
Yeah, it's either they're the most or they're pretty close with the Death Guard. It's either or.
'Cause I
They
remember
had a massive loyalist
that-
chunk though that had to get purged. It was pretty rough.
Yeah. I remember like Horus wanted to do like a second round of like virus bombing, but Angron was like, "No, I'm going down there and killing my sons myself."
Yeah.
I just remember
fuck-
like the scene
let's-
from like the second horror, was it the second or third book where Garvey Logan is running after everything and starts fighting, runs into a loyalist world eater. He just looks over at Angron going ham, like, "Yeah, you better run. I gotta go deal with Dad." Just fun.
Yeah. I don't like
Yeah.
that everyone trounces on Angron. Angron's not that bad. He's actually like an incredibly good duelist and holds his own against like basically every Primarch.
Yeah, it's just that everybody likes to meme on him because haha, he the young angry one.
I know it's you wanna know how mid the line is as a duelist? I'm gonna make people upset with this comment. I don't care. Dark
mean, he
Angel
beat
Sims
Lumen
suck
Russ.
my dick.
Uh,
No. Fucking Conrad Kurz went toe to toe to him and was standstill. This is something I can't remember the name of the action. It was during the heresy. The Night Lords got sent to kind of keep the Dark Angels in check so that Horus could go do his funny thing. And then this is
another
Conrad
Texan
has
Bull. There aren't any left that we're aware of. I think the last loyalist from Trader Agents was Rylanor.
I mean,
well,
no.
there
There's
was a
one called
few
the
Black
Anchorite. That's a
Sheep,
Word Bearer's Dreadnought.
Yeah, there's the Word Bearer's Dreadnought. He's still around, but
I forget about him.
I mean,
Never
he's
get
actually pretty
because-
based. His lines actually go really hard.
he's pretty based. No, but that little engagement between the Lion and Conrad is when Conrad confronts him. Is like, how come you're a hero and I'm the villain when I do like infinitely less harm than you? And fucking Lion just tells him, I don't give a shit. I'm here to kill you. Shut the fuck up. Quit your crying. Let's fight. And then they fight each other to a standstill so much that their honor guards have to like tear them apart from each other because it's very clear that either they're both going to die or they have to.
They'll go on forever.
No, it's like they're both going to kill each other. It's like either they both die or we pull them apart, like from each other and run away, retreat.
And then round 2 happened, and the Lion banged Conrad.
Yeah, which makes no sense, but it's whatever. I don't.
As mid-late books and started off so well, the Horus Heresy, and
I
just
know.
slowly
What
goes
happened?
downhill with just
And then-
some spikes here and there of good quality.
It's too many cooks in the kitchen syndrome.
Mhm.
Is kind of the big problem with Warhammer's lore.
And then everyone kicks the shit out of Lorgar.
I mean, it also doesn't help that 30k has to end up at 40k.
Alright, I'm back. What are you guys yapping about?
Yeah. Stop.
We're
we're
talking
talking
about slurs, but then we started talking about Warhammer again.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. I also seen that Arch has terrified the Trench Crusade devs again.
How? What
Yeah,
do you do?
because
What do you do this time?
Oh, hold on here. I'll pull it up. Let me pull it up. Let me quick.
Yes.
No,
Your,
not that one. This one. Just in case if any tits show up on my Twitter.
Look, brother, tits. Oh, what's up, Fleek?
It was.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. I saw that tweet this morning.
There you go.
But they tried to censor my victims. Oh my god.
They have his video up and censored his icon.
This is like when the fucking all of the like GW had to put out PSAs about Arch to like creators and shit.
But make him
this-
like the name he who should not be named.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is bringing me
he is
back,
literally
bro.
the Voldemort of GW.
This is bringing me back, boys. This feels cozy.
I was there when he was still Arch Warhammer.
I was there when he dropped an N-bomb in a video, and that was funny.
Oh,
I don't
you mean
remember
his
that
fucking
one.
Nobbler video?
Yeah,
The Nobbler video, that one was
great.
good.
that was so funny. It came out of nowhere.
I hope Arch
Yeah.
has a video on this because he's watching the presentation, so it's gonna be great.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sure we're gonna have a nice, fun video tomorrow.
I mean, he still has that one. He still has his Deathcore of Kree video where he drops the F-bomb, which was also very funny because he says it with such attitude. It's great.
I've said that live on stream over on the Archcast when I called Harry Sisson one.
Yeah, I know, but you're Lumi. You're tiny. He's Arch Warhammer. He has big enemies, and yet somehow the videos are still up, even with this
Yeah.
re-upload and the rematch.
Man, I
Well,
can't
here's the thing,
believe Arch said the word fromage.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even people who hate him admit that his Siege of Rax, which the Death Corps is part of, is really good.
Yeah, it's really
I know, it's so funny. I just love.
They
the
have
way
to
he
admit
said
it. They have to like, I can't deny.
I
Alright,
might clip it later.
let's continue the video. We're a little over halfway there. 18 minutes left.
Ooh. It only took like 2
Yay.
hours.
The boring
This
Legion.
began
Let's
as the
go.
Warborn, a legion
leave him
whose
alone.
gene seed was
It's time
noted
for
for
Oh yeah,
bureaucracy,
isn't this
kid.
GW's favorite legion?
Yes.
They're the poster
Yes.
boys. They're
How-
the bureaucrats.
The blueberries, the poster boys, the
The only
ones that
ones
get
that
all
eat
the
poster
sandwich
boys.
bullshit.
sticks.
Yep, the one.
That's
yes.
just a fucking lie, Eclipse. How
I
dare
know,
you slander my Iron
But I will say
Warrior?
it anyway because Gilman loves
gonna
Microsoft
What
Excel.
happened to Arch's Clan Pestilence video? I have no idea what that is.
Maybe
Probably
nothing happened
got nothing. He didn't do anything in that video. What do you mean?
I don't know. Unless
I
it
think
got
someone's
taken
getting
down for
confused.
some reason. Oh no, I can.
No, I can't remember why it got taken down. I think he said another gamer word in that one. I can't remember.
Hard
I
to
don't
say.
know. I'll
It's not the
interrogate
few of those.
Archley with that one.
He
Anyway.
dropped a few of those words.
its high adaptability, leading to the Legion becoming the home of refugees instead of taking its recruits from a specific cultural area of Old Terra. This would be a reoccurring pattern, as they would begin by taking in recruits from the defeated enemies of the Emperor on Earth, and eventually take in the loyal Marines of censured or lost legions during the heresy. Well suited to the work of a backbone force, the 13th Legion gradually became known as a competent campaigning legion, often taking on whole war zones without support from other legions. This worked well with the leadership style of their Primarch Rabute Guilliman, who was adept at not only the business of persecuting wars, but administrating afterwards. The Legion's name was changed to the Ultramarines, and so began one of the most successful careers of any Legion during the Great Crusade. Maybe it was Guilliman's excellent organizational mind, or the ease at which his Legion took to things like diplomacy and logistics, but either way, the Ultramarines conquered more worlds than any Legion except the Luna Wolves, and their numbers swelled to easily eclipse any of the other Astartes armies. There are rumors that this sudden swell of Ultramarine recruits is due to, okay, I know I just had the notes for this section, and now they're not here.
Lumi, we're
Okay,
watching
we'll
Danny's
move
video
on
after
for
this.
now, but if I find that passage,
Okay.
I'll circle back. Being the largest legion by far, Horus knew he had to keep the Ultramarines away from Terra or his siege would be stopped easily. So he threw large elements of the Wordbearers, World Eaters, Alpha Legion, and even the Night Lords at their home system of Macrage in order to keep them fighting.
Macragge!
That pronunciation.
Macragge!
Crotch.
That pronunciation.
Crush, oh.
Bones.
Macron!
Macragge, you fucking
Elbernard,
moron.
smack this man's nuts!
Smack
Abelard.
Smack his
Abelard,
hands.
Flay this man.
Abelard. Destroy his will to live.
Jesus Christ.
Abelard crushes penis.
You
Macrage. Oh my
And
god.
I just paused to ask what the heck is this dude?
That's an Eldar.
That's a
It's an
Eldar.
Eldar, space elf.
I think it's a space elf.
Cyber is
cool.
Cyber Farseer Warlock. One of the two.
Either way, I want that. God, Eldar fucking Drip is so cool.
We need Tori here to explain because we don't know Eldar.
I know
Okay.
enough about Eldar to
We-
simp for them a little bit. They need some
we will-
good fighting. Jesus.
Well, we'll sim for them later.
We'll yap about the Eldar another time, but this looks cool. I
The
like
Eldar
this
look
outfit.
good.
Literally for the Eldar, we can literally just get a lot of Pancreas vids because he loves them so damn much.
Yeah.
Eldar
Yeah,
suffer
that's fair.
from being cool and GW not knowing how to write them well.
And then they just say, like, hey, we need something cool to happen. Let's just get someone to be the fucking Avatar of Cain again.
Yeah, the Avatar of Cain has become such a joke and it's depressing.
It's so sad.
Basically,
Hello
Avatar
again,
is Cain.
Whoa, let's not get too hard.
Drivey said, apparently from what I've seen in other lore videos, Crimson Fist used to be poster boys before the Ultramarines, but not sure if that's true.
No,
Yeah,
that might actually, they did have quite a bit of official art before. That's true, actually.
Yeah, if you look at like old Warhammer art from like early 2000s and like the 90s, it's Crimson Fists.
It's also
Okay.
funny because Crimson Fist could actually, because people like to say like Space Marines are just all rude and assholes, but along with the Salamanders and Lamenters, Crimson Fists are actually one of the gentler chapters.
Yeah.
Ah,
they're very-
Lamentus, my boys.
My boys, poor Pio.
Yeah, you've probably
Or
seen the
Lamenters.
artwork, Lumi, of like a 100 or so Space Marines on like a hill shooting at like all directions.
Yeah.
That's the Crimson Fist art.
Oh,
You see a little red fist.
okay.
You'll see a little red fist on their shoulder. That's
Yep,
the
that's
Crimson
them.
Fists.
They're good boys.
They're on the Rogue
it-
Trader cover and 3rd edition Codex
Yes,
cover.
yes, they are old lore shit.
Okay.
But they're also really cool. Or they actually had a really cool ceremony where they had like this little bauble with like a drop of blood that's supposed to be Dorn's blood. If it fills up, it means their Primarch is still alive somewhere.
So
It's very
how
cool.
often do the Primarchs get replaced? Just
You can't
Replaced.
replace them.
There is no replacing them.
Yeah, they
They're
are
coming
singular.
back, but
Okay,
there's
they
only
come
one
back?
Primarch.
like when they
So you-
die, they just kind of come back eventually.
No, they don't come.
or-
No,
No,
they've
no.
been alive the entire time.
They're mortal.
Like, Gilliman's
They're
been alive
mortal.
the entire time. The Lion was
Oh.
alive the entire time.
Yeah, they can
Ferris
die.
Menace is never coming back. He's
No,
dead.
Ferris
as shit.
Menace is fucking decapitated.
Conrad's never coming back, which makes
Yeah, he's-
Arch sad.
He's
Well,
also-
Sanguinius is dead.
So when
Who is that?
when a Primarch is dead,
Sanguinius.
just it's gone. They're just
it's
He's
dead.
gone.
They die. They're
Vulcan
and
literally
then,
can't
and it's
die
like
though.
then they're then their legion is just absorbed by other legions, or like
No,
what
no,
no.
happens?
No.
So, so basically, what happened with the Ultramarines? You know how we don't know what happened to number 2 and number 11?
Mm.
Well, then suddenly the
It
Ultramarines
is
got an
assumed
influx of recruits.
that they went to the Ultramarines. That's why they had so many. But
Okay.
the other legions whose Primarchs died, they're still that legion. It's not like,
It's
oh, hey,
just-
your dad's dead, you get sent to the Ultramarines.
See,
Okay.
it's just because they had to keep what happened to the second 11th under wraps. But the other legions are so integrated with the history, like we can't hide them. You can't.
It's not 100% confirmed, but it's kind of like one of the main theories. I like to think it's just because they're so autistic, they just mass produce the Space Marines on a fucking factory line with perfect
Nope.
timing.
We figured it out, guys.
Let's see. When they're dead, they are gone except the demons and Vulcan.
And Vulcan, yes.
Vulcan's weird. He can't die. He's like the
He
only
literally
one.
can't die.
The Alfarius Omegon is still alive.
Well, one of
Maybe
them
we
is.
don't know.
Well, it's since when you'll find out about the Alpha Legion when we get to the Alpha Legion.
Alpha Legion are,
I like
Every
them, but
return is a mistake, besides Vulcan.
I mean, kind of, yeah. The problem is when you have all the Primarchs, especially the loyalist ones coming back, like, the balance of power shifts so much in, like, the narrative sense. It's really hard to make it, like, feel like the Imperium's about to lose and fall apart.
Yeah,
and is, like,
because
desperate
you
to
have
try and
literal
stay alive.
demigods leading them again.
Yeah, it's like a lot of because what made the old 40k interesting is that humanity was unironically like on the brink of destruction. A big enough
Like
fuck
constantly,
up would
they
wipe
were on the
humanity
tightrope.
out. It's not like that anymore, and if they're trying to do that, they're not doing it very well.
Yeah, that's why I always
Okay.
like to go with like pre 8th edition 40k.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Also
There are
since firstborn.
rumors that Dorn is the next Primarch to return.
Yeah, there's some
No,
like that rumor.
unfortunately, no. It's not going to be Dawn. It's going to be Lehman.
I mean,
hope
it's Dorn or
Jagatai
Lehman.
I want Jagatai Khan to come back with a host of Dark Eldar, like
Tan
Vader.
Dark Eldar.
Well,
Yes.
he's just sitting there with Mike on his motorbike, and just a horde of Dark Eldar women all chained up and have spike collars on.
Dark Eldar GFs everywhere he looks.
Yes.
You know what? I simp for it. Let's do it.
Of course you do.
All Eclipse
let's
had to do
let's
is make
keep
them
going.
tan, and I'm in.
And if you guys know any Warhammer 40k YouTubers that really like the Eldar, that you guys think would possibly say yes for coming on to Warhammer Wednesday, let me know, and then I would. Or maybe I can get Powder on and we can do like a collab Warhammer Wednesday. Who knows?
Okay, let's get
Probably.
Powder.
Powder's doing a Warhammer Wednesday right now. She's doing a subathon, so
Oh yeah, I
Adorable.
seen her announce that.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Anyway.
do combine one day. I don't know. I'll yap at her about it. Let's continue.
Then we get to torture 2 women at the same time.
Excellent.
We get to pay back for
there
Arch.
instead of in Seoul. And the numbers of the Ultramarines is still a huge factor in their operations today, with the chapter having more splinter armies than any other original legion. The Ultramarines literally wrote the book on the Astartes, and love them or hate them, they are one of the most effective forces in the galaxy. A legion built on resilience, the 14th Legion, or the
stinky.
Dusk Raiders as they were called at the beginning, were tough
poop
even by
funny.
Astartes standards. Oddly, they began as an ambush
Once
force,
you really need a
striking
bath.
at dusk as their name implies, and making extensive use of heavier armor types so that they could simply walk into enemy fire for maximum intimidation. The Dusk Raiders fought like this for over 8 decades into the Great Crusade before Mortarion, their Primarch, was found. Himself a stoic, tough fighter, Mortarion recognized his new legion as agents of the inevitable, and renamed them the Death Guard. Their way of fighting subtly switched around this time to attrition-style combat, their already tough physiques lending themselves extra protection in battlefields with harsh environmental conditions. In some places that were poisonous or devoid of atmosphere, the warriors of the 14th were sent to show the enemies of humanity that the Emperor would not be turned aside by anything. This led the Legion to fight mostly as foot sloggers, rarely using transports, bikes, or jump packs like other legions did, and instead simply advancing on foot in both power armor and Terminator armor. Mortarion only really became close with Horus, and so even before the heresy began, it was very likely that he would have fought for his brother against the Emperor. But it should be noted that not all his legionnaires felt the same, and if it was not for Nathaniel Garro and the flight of the Eisenstein, the loyal forces of the Imperium would not have known about Horus's treachery until it was too late to stop him. And while Mortarion originally had no intentions of lowering himself to worshipping the powers of chaos, the Great Unclean One had other plans and marooned Mortarion's fleet.
Did Grandpa Nurgle get his?
Yes.
Oh, Grandpa Nurgle.
Yes.
Yes.
Grandpa Nurgle got what he wanted.
You see, here's the funny thing: is that Mortarion himself did not ascend to demonhood per se.
He did, just not willingly.
Yes. Well, see, that's because the thing, his scythe is still completely clean, whereas one of his lower followers was actually promoted to Demon Prince.
Yeah, it's funny.
Is that why you guys said "uh-oh, Stinky" when?
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we said "uh-oh, Stinky."
Yes.
He
And
got the
they
Stinky
need a
boy.
shower.
Grandpa is here, and boy, oh boy, is he right.
Yeah, Mortarion's the funny one because Mortarion hates psychers, like violently almost. He hated Magnus like a shit ton. He barely had a librarius in his chapter, and he was one of the first ones to become a demon Primarch, which is hilarious.
Which basically means he's a psyker now.
He fully simps for Nurgle now. It's great. He went full circle. He got mind broke.
Yeah, but my god, does Mortarion look pretty.
Oh yeah, his model
look
is
quite cool.
incredible and the fan art is great. But yeah, no, he got mind broke.
Anyway,
I mean,
back
I
to
like
Grandfather.
him then.
Now I'm reading this. A fun fact: the Death Guard literally had a ritual where they would imbibe Astartes great venom just to prove their resilience.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's also
so-
what the fucking Space Wolves did, though. They put poison in their mugs so they could get drunk.
No, this
but,
was.
But when
hey,
the Space Wolves do it, it's funny.
And also,
they're
this
getting
wasn't
drunk.
like, hey, this is going to give you a buzz. It was, hey, if you're not strong enough, you will die.
Yeah,
You know what,
Lumi,
fair.
you play D&D, right?
Yeah.
So
He's-
all Space Marines have like an 18 armor class. The Death Guard have like a 21 armor class. Is kind of
I
how it is.
see.
They're a little bit tougher. They're just for some reason just with how their gene seed works and Mortarion, they're a little bit tougher. They're a little tankier. They can handle a little more poison. And
Just
to
make us
show who had
chunky.
and so whoever had the biggest dick, you gotta drink the most poison type shit.
And if you
Typhon
survive,
was a
congrats.
follower of Nurgle before the Death Guard fell to Nurgle.
Typhon, I think,
Yes.
is pretty sure a Death Guard
Typhus.
Space Marine.
Captain Typhus was the one that basically tricked the Legion into worshipping Nurgle.
I see.
What a dick.
He,
Yes,
he-
and
Because
he's
he
gonna-
basically, to
Yeah.
my understanding, he stranded them in a situation where it was literally the entire Legion dies, or they go serve Grandpa Nurgle.
yeah.
And
And
for
they
his
chose to-
reward, he got a nice big plague beehive on his back.
He's a demon
Interesting.
prime. He's a demon prince, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mr.
Which might
Twisted
actually mean he's
Frenzy,
stronger than
hello.
Mortarion.
Is Typhus considered stronger than that name?
Mortarion.
Mortarion?
Mortarion. I would say
Technically,
I don't think
What?
he's actually a demon prince. I
think he
he's
is,
just
No,
I-
Typhus is not a demon prince. He's a champion of. He's a
yeah,
champion of
He's just a
Nurgle.
champion. He's got a bunch of blessings that make him kind of demon-y, but he's not actually like a demon.
Yeah.
I think like on the hierarchical ladder, though, I think Typhus might be loved by Nurgle more than Mortarion, actually.
Oh yeah. After the plague war, and and Mortarion going off the reservation trying to kill Girly Man. He kind of got bitch slapped by Nurgle and got put in one of the
He
Nurgle's
got put in the cuck
jaws.
chair, and Typhus's turn is now.
I wouldn't. Just hearing be put in one of Nurgle's jars is a horrifying.
Oh
mean, like,
no.
Satan?
One of the elder goddess of
Healing.
medicine is trapped
Life.
in one of Nurgle's jars.
Yeah,
Oh,
her
yeah,
name's Aisha.
He uses her to help with his experiment.
Yes.
Yes.
She's literally a guinea pig, but
Yeah.
the plus side is sometimes she leaks cures to the mortal world. That's like the byproduct.
Yup.
Alright,
Anyway,
let's keep
time for
going.
Stinky.
in a pocket of the warp. The destroyer plague tore through his marines, maiming and torturing them until Mortarion pledged himself to Nurgle just to stop the pain. When the Death Guard finally arrived at Terra, the bloated forms of the new Death Guard were terrifying and nearly unkillable. Mortarion himself ascended to demonhood and plagues the Imperium to this day. The Thousand Sons are probably one of the most tragic stories in the Imperium.
My
They were
boys!
originally formed from recruits born inside the Emperor's lands on Terra, and so many hadn't suffered war much before the Unification Wars. They were the sons of nobility already loyal to the Emperor, and many had been educated in some manner before volunteering. They were formed by the Emperor himself as the Unification Wars were coming to a close, and exactly 1,000 carefully picked student aspirants were the foundation of the 15th Legion. Aside from their beginnings, the Astartes of the Thousand Sons weren't particularly notable how they fought or were organized until they started developing psychic powers. And while the curious Marines of the 15th were at first happy about this development, it very quickly spiraled out of control. At this point in history, not many people in the Imperium knew about the warp and the chaotic powers within, and that was by design. Starving the Chaos Gods of attention was an effective way of robbing their power. The warriors of the Thousand Sons did not know this and began to horrifically mutate. As they slowly brought the outbreaks under control, other Primarchs like Mortarion and Rogel Dorn became aware of the Psykers in the 15th Legion and pushed to have them censured. No mutant should be allowed in the Emperor's forces. But the 15th Legion couldn't help but learn more, and so continued in secret, especially after being reunited with their Primarch Magnus, whose psychic might was second only to the Emperor's. He stabilized the mutations and reorganized the Legion into chapters, a term which would eventually be used for every Astartes force. Upsettingly, it was Magnus's attempt to warn the Emperor about Horus that got his legion almost destroyed by the Space Wolves, who were forced to deal with the Thousand Sons for breaking the rules about using psychic powers, even if it was to warn the Emperor. Now on the run from the Imperium, the 15th Legion had no choice but to hide in the warp, which brought the mutations back. Desperate chapter leaders attempted a complicated spell, the Rubric of Ahriman, which stopped the mutations at the cost of turning their bodies to dust. Most Thousand Marines are now barely sentient, and their forces travel the galaxy on mysterious missions for their god Tzeentch, and to find a cure. Mirroring the rise and
So
God, their
the
horsey drip was
15th
so good.
Legion is just full of, not like, completely made of psychers, but there's just a lot of psychers in the 15th.
Oh,
So,
they're basically
the
all of them.
90%.
All of them are psychers.
Yes,
Pretty much.
all of them are. Now, not all of them are like really strong psychers,
Yeah.
But yes, they all have psychic
Abilities in one way or another.
Being a psyker is just like being autistic. It's on a scale.
You know what? Fair.
And Magnus and the Emperor, they were hyper autismo.
Big tism.
And it's like, okay, just so my brain can put this together and understand.
Mhm.
When they're trying to find the cure for the mutations and everything, the only thing that they were able to do was the super complicated spells which reduce their bodies to dust. So,
Okay, so
no,
Like some of them
essentially-
still have their bodies. Sorry.
well, yeah, but
That's what,
it's,
right.
it's like what my brain is putting together is that essentially they cannot leave their suits. They're just basically a shell of their former selves working on autopilot now.
Well, you see,
Well,
Lumi,
there
if
was-
you
there
actually
was- Go ahead.
sorry, if you actually continue through the Space Marine 2 game, you'll see what we mean by literal shell.
Okay.
So there were 2 rituals to fix the mutation.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, so if you, I don't know if you want to scroll back a little bit to the photo of Magnus, you'll see that Magnus has one eye in the picture in the fan art, and one of them is glowing.
a bit more.
Yes.
That one. So when Magnus was reunited with his legion, he tried to do a ritual, and he didn't know it at the time, but he was talking to Tzeentch, and Tzeentch asked, like, okay, I'll stop the mutations, but in exchange, I'm gonna need your eye, literally. And so that's why he's also called the one-eyed
Cyclops.
giant.
Oh.
Also, let's be honest,
the
Tzeentch
red
was
side.
probably the one causing the mutation in the first place.
It's heavily believed that that's like partially true.
More than
actually.
likely.
that Tzeentch fucked with the gene seed, and that's why it was happening.
I mean, I could see it happening because each of the
But
chaos
then-
gods have to persuade people into joining them. Everything kind
Yes.
of like
Yes.
with Nurgle with the whole disease thing.
Yeah, so Magnus does that, and it kind of works for a while, but the mutations start to come back again.
Yeah.
And then Ahriman, the first captain of the Legion, essentially the second in command, did the spell called the Rubric of Ahriman. And he was, and he knows everything. He's the big dick psychic. He knows what he's doing, right? He's gonna fix the mutations, right? No, it doesn't work at all. Every 1,000 Suns that was not a psyker was instantly turned into dust, and their soul was bound to their armor. They're basically robots.
Yeah, so most of the 1,000 Suns would be considered probably Iota, Theta, Eta level. Like, they have some stuff going on, but not a lot. Those were the ones that became dust.
Yeah. And then the powerful psychers become like the sorcerer lords. I don't know what they're technically called, but there's the sorcerers. They puppet around the suits of armor, essentially.
Yeah. So anything like Zeta, Epsilon, they probably still lived.
Yes.
With their fleshy bits too.
Yeah, they live. Importantly, they're not dust. They're fully intact, and they basically control the rest of the 1,000 Suns, literally kind of puppeting them around. They don't really have anything anymore in the way of like will or individuality.
Okay, a little tidbit on the psychic bit. What do you think fucking Ravenor is for fucking psyker level? Think he's beta?
Yeah, I would say beta almost on alpha level. Because considering Ravenor can literally just go, right, your brain now, you go now sit in a small corner of your brain while I puppet your body now. Have fun. Puppet your body now.
Alpha plus, literal emperor level.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Twisted Frenzy, I will tell you what Magnus did in his attempt to warn the Emperor about Horus.
He broke it.
Yeah, so the Emperor was trying to create basically a new way of travel by copying what the Eldar do. So we wouldn't have to go through hell to get to different planets and stuff.
I don't want to go to hell to get milk.
That's what the Emperor was trying to do. When Magnus was like, oh shit, I need to warn Dad. He did this big ritual to send his psychic self to Terra. Well, when he got there, he's like, there's this strange barrier in my way from getting to Dad. And again, we're not sure what it was, but it was probably seen. Yeah, he said, hey, I bet you can't get through that barrier. And he's like, I'm Magnus the Red. I can do it. He broke it. He's like, hey, Dad, Horus betrayed you, while tides of demons entered the Imperial Palace. And it's like, oh no.
And suddenly the custodians have a very busy job.
Yeah, the Emperor put up a psychic ward to hide it from the Chaos Gods, because he didn't want them knowing he was doing this. And then Magnus broke the shield, which also created a mini warp portal in the center of the palace, basically. It's still open to this day. That's what the chair does, part of it. That's what the Golden Throne kind of does. The Golden Throne does two things. It helps pilot ships through the warp, and it keeps that portal closed. That's why when the Emperor dies, it's not just that faster than light travel goes away, it's that the warp breach will consume the planet.
I just thought it was a really fancy chair, and all that shit that was surrounding it was just to keep the Emperor alive via sacrifices of a thousand psychers.
It's kind of both.
Okay.
So originally he used it. So fun fact: Magnus is such a big boy psyker that he was also supposed to take the place on the Golden Throne if the Emperor needed a break. And survive. That's why he's such a powerful psyker. Literally part of his job description. So naturally, without the Emperor on there pre-Horus Heresy finale, it would do the guiding through the warp thing on its own. You just had to feed it psychers.
Okay.
But when the Emperor got really fucked up, he kind of needed a life support system too, and so it kind of got hodgepodged into that too. And he has to use it to keep the warp portal closed.
Oh, that's why. Waiting room.
That was something that happened when the breach was opened. Is he basically had to sit on the throne and couldn't get off, except for to give very brief orders to people.
Not to mention Malkador had to take his place for a bit, and that's
why Malkador is such a fucking Giga Chad, because basically Malkador had to take over running the Empire while the Emperor had to sit on the throne.
Well, no, that's when like
Until-
when Malkador had to sit on that damn throne. That was
Oh
painful.
no, I'm talking before that because the Emperor had to sit on there after the breach to keep the breach closed, and then Malkador kind of had to take over in the interim, and then he swapped places and gave his life for the Emperor to go spank Horus.
Yes. He was basically staring down all four Satans while Emperor had to do his thing.
You might hear about Malkador. Malkador was essentially the Emperor's only genuine, unironic friend.
Oh.
he was
also,
just-
the only
he was
human that
just
could
a
almost
dude.
rival him.
Probably a more powerful psyker than Magnus, but at least he's like tied. Like Malkador is kind of a Giga Chad in like every way. He was like the Emperor's only friend, the only one who actually understood the Emperor's vision and plan. Like Lumi, you love Moose Man. You know you love him. You know everything about him. You feel like you could like have him speak for your medical decisions.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Emperor and Malkador's relationship. Like they are close.
They are very
okay.
close.
Like if Malkador gave you an order, it was basically the exact same thing the Emperor would say. Like the Emperor would be like, "Yeah, no, I would totally do the exact same thing."
Other than
Okay.
The only
wanting to
ones
make
the Primarchs
Primarchs
couldn't talk
female.
down to.
Yeah, they tried to, and then he almost choked Horus out. It was really funny.
Alright,
The
let
Emperor made it
us-
illegal to speak the. Oh, go ahead.
Let us continue.
Also,
Okay.
what about Monkey though? He's in the waiting room.
Oh, he's in the waiting room.
Yes.
Bring the meme
He
lord.
has ascended.
Hello, Monkey.
Monkey.
Yes.
There we go. Thank you, Shadow.
Alright. Let us.
Leaders
So,
attempted a complicated
the
spell,
flipper, yes,
the
I would
rubric
probably
of
say so.
Ahriman, which stopped the mutations at the cost of turning their bodies
Oh,
to
you can
dust.
skip forward. I think
Most
we
you can-
passed
Yeah,
thousand
we already
beings
watched it.
are now
Oh, well,
barely
too bad.
sentient,
We're
and
just
their
gonna play through
forces
it.
pound
Okay.
the galaxy
It only went
on
back like
mysterious missions
30
for their
seconds.
god Tzeentch, and to find a cure. Mirroring the rise and fall of their Primarch Horus Lupercal, the
Boo,
16th
boring.
Legion started out as one of the Emperor's most trusted forces. The Terran recruits were formed from wandering tribes known for pragmatism and independence, making the bulk of the original 16th Legion into fierce and effective shock troops. It was this quality which led the Emperor to choose them from the pacification of Luna, a battle which captured the genetic laboratories that the Emperor needed to complete his Space Marine program. As a reward, the
Bye,
16th Legion
Mechanicus.
was
We'll
named
see
the
ya later.
Luna Wolves, and given much of the first batches of Gene Seed, making them one of the strongest legions even before the Great Crusade started. And that hardly changed when Horus was found on the very nearby world of Chthoniya. Horus was actually the
Chthoniya,
very
you
first
idiot.
Primarch to be discovered, and for
There's a
30
C.
years was the only Primarch, leading him to gaining not only a very strong bond with his legion, but also the Emperor, and to some extent the whole Imperium. He was the Emperor's favorite son. We spoke earlier about how being the first legion gave the Dark Angels a bit of an ego. Imagine being the only legion with a Primarch for 3 decades, and that Primarch being the obvious favorite among his brothers. Needless to say, the Luna Wolves were a bit puffed up. During the Great Crusade, the 16th Legion pushed themselves to conquer more worlds, pursue more enemies, fight more glorious wars, and win more accolades than their fellow legions. Only the Ultramarines even came close. Then came Ulanor. The Ulanor Crusade was a defining moment for the Imperium as a whole, but the Luna Wolves more than most. The largest Orc empire was destroyed as the Emperor himself took to the field for the final time during the Great Crusade, leaving for a mysterious project under the Terran surface and proclaiming Horus the War Master, Supreme Commander of Imperial forces, second only to the Emperor himself. When he left, the Emperor suggested that Horus rename his legion to reflect his new position, and though he originally refused, he began to think the other Primarchs still saw him just as a peer, and so he relented, and the 16th Legion became the Sons of Horus. What happened soon after is a story for another video, but Horus was infected by the powers of chaos thanks in part to the scheming of his brother Lorgar of the Wordbearers, and the slow slide into heresy began. After the climactic battle with the Emperor during the Siege of Terra, what was left of the Sons of Horus rallied around their former first captain Abaddon and renamed themselves the Black Legion. The story of the
armless.
17th
The
Legion
heartless.
is a strange
That's the fucking nerds.
Nerds. They can
Other
read.
nerds. The religious nerds.
Would you like to take this time to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
Ah,
Yes.
you laugh, but that's
No,
your
instead
job.
the word bearers.
Are,
Word bearers
are they
more like
literally just Bible thumpers
So,
that go door to
They
door?
are literally the most violent Jehovah's Witness you've ever seen.
Lumi,
I see.
they would go like, Convert to the Emperor, or else.
Yeah.
Originally, now it's
No,
convert to
there's
chaos
no or else. It's convert to
else.
the Emperor, or they just shoot you. There is no or else. They don't hesitate.
Yeah, that's what I meant by or else. Like you.
Fun fact: they wrote the Imperium's modern Bible, and they don't know it, and it's really funny because Lorgar absolutely hates that. He is coping and seething about it all the time. It's great.
Yep, he's the reason the Imperium is still holding itself together, somewhat.
I see.
Yep.
Oh, NDA
I
says
can't
that's
remember.
false. Alfarius was the first to be found. His bot just landed outside of the palace.
That
Yes.
story's non-canon.
Everything's canon, and nothing is canon, which is gay.
If it's all Alpha Legion, it's all canon, baby. Or is it not canon?
I mean,
I
hey,
don't know.
just like
What is
Sonic,
canon?
just like Sonic, they said that every single piece of fan work is canon. Sonic.
Oh no!
Yikes.
Including all
No.
the
Even
inflation
this-
and Preg from the
All right,
beginner
Lumi, I'm
artists.
sending you a medallion for saying that.
Nope.
This is your
No.
fault.
You'll never know my address. The only people that know my address is Rage and
I just have to
Arch.
sneak one into your package. You'll never know.
Hide it within the plushie. There we go.
No!
Yes, the
Yeah.
word bearers are.
I can't get the curse if I don't know it's there.
That's
But
not
you'll
how
open
that
up and
works
then you'll
even
see it.
slightly, Lumi.
Nope. All the people
You'll
who got
embrace
cursed
that
from that
plushie with a
thing
medallion?
just knowingly put it on.
What was I gonna say? Oh no, I'll briefly. There's this quote where like Lorgar is like, "Oh, you fools! You don't know who you worship anymore." This is after he's a traitor, and he's like, "You fools! The Emperor's not a god. He's weak. The true gods are the Chaos gods." And then
Yeah.
the loyalists like start quoting Lorgar's old religious scripture back at him, and he's really upset about that because he's like, "Well, this used to be from when I worshipped the Emperor." He's really salty about it. They start quoting his old homework back at him, and he's seething about it.
Shit.
Because he's literally
And
just
then an
the words,
Elysian
like-
jump trooper jet packed up to him with holding a crack grenade.
Yeah,
Ah,
pretty much. It was great.
Also, he. Sorry, go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about like Lodgar is that it was actually like everyone said, worshipping the Emperor as a god when the Emperor didn't want that. And I think there's a story where Lodgar made like a church in the name of the Emperor, and the Emperor was like,
Yep.
"Nope," and just fucking burned it to the ground. And
Yeah,
like,
There-
don't
we
do
could
that.
probably talk
Bad
about that. in a
Lodgar,
minute.
bad
It's-
son.
It wasn't.
I
It
will
wasn't
say
a church once,
this.
it was the city.
It was the
Yeah.
entire city.
Oh,
yes.
it's in the city.
Yeah.
My bad.
I would say
I'll-
this, in my own opinion, Orgar worships power. The whole reason he
Yeah.
believes
You're
the.
just stealing
Em-
Arch's words.
Yes, I am, but shut up. He has a good point on this. Orgar
Don't-
worships power, so he was basically like, the Emperor's the most powerful thing, therefore he is God. And that's why whenever someone brought up the whole, hey, why are you worshipping the Emperor? He was basically like, oh, I'm not forming a religion around the Emperor. I'm merely honoring him.
Yeah.
He was basically
Bibles-
the SJW of changing words around.
Yeah.
It's a mega cope.
It is such a cope.
And when the Emperor like basically broke his delusion of like, nope,
Monarchia.
don't do that. Well,
Yeah.
Lodgard tried to search for something else. Like he wanted to worship something,
And then came
so
his adopted
something
father.
came to him.
No, his adopted father came to him.
Yeah, something came
Poor
to him.
Pharaoh and
essentially.
Erebus.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the religious simps.
Strange one, but that's fitting considering they're the most direct cause of the Horus Heresy. Originally named the Imperial
All my homies
Heralds,
hate
the
Erebus.
17th Legion was made up of the sons of defeated enemies on Old Terra and were raised to understand the crimes of their parents, a connection that no other Space Marine was allowed during their transition. This had the effect of making the Marines of the 17th much more zealous in their pursuit of their orders and the Imperial truth, the working doctrine of the Imperium which favored logic and reason above all else. To go along with this, the 17th Legion were the official emissaries of the Emperor, delivering his ultimatums to potential enemies by a single Marine in black armor, a skull helmet, and a winged mace. That's right, the 17th Legion invented Space Marine chaplains. Things took a turn, however, when their Primarch was discovered. Lorgar Aurelian was raised to be a devout man and believed very strongly that religion was a fundamental part of being human. Which would be a nice sentiment if his two most devoted advisors hadn't been worshippers of chaos before they had been made into Astartes. Once reunited with his legion, Lorgar renamed them the Word-Bearers and began twisting the Imperial truth into a true religion with the Emperor at its center. Wherever they went, they built shrines to the Master of Humanity until finally, the Emperor had enough.
Is that a church?
Yes.
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 It's a modern ecclesiarchal church in 40K.
Yeah, that's a 40K church.
Yeah.
That's why we made the joke about the Titan, and the church comes to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a
was like a
big
half
ass
joke.
fucking church. And is that why the Emperor of Man is just called the God Emperor because of the word bearers? Okay.
Yes.
I see.
So Lorgar,
Yeah,
he creates the Imperium's modern version of the Bible, but they don't know that. They don't know that Lorgar created that, and he's very
Well, that was
upset
the
about it
whole
because he no longer
point.
believes in it.
That was the whole point of like the Warbears in that one book, The Apocalypse, trying to get the anchorites so the secret would come out, quote unquote.
Yeah. They're trying to spoil the Imperium on it, but the problem is that the Imperium just quotes the Bible back at him. They're like, no, I don't believe it because the Bible says this. He's like, motherfuckers, I wrote
God
that
damn,
shit.
that's my own fucking words, shit! Back during his edgy Reddit days, like shit.
Literally, he said one of the quotes he says is like, "Only a true god would deny his own divinity." And he tries saying that he's like, "The Emperor told me himself he's not a god." Da 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 da. And then one of the soldiers,
he
like,
is
just a
God.
guardsman, quotes that back at him. You little fucking shit.
That's
It pisses him off to this day. Well, when
It's
fucking
so good.
when Korax
so
isn't outside his house haunting him every day.
Oh,
Oh, bitch!
We'll get to Corvus in just a moment, though.
Yeah. So one of the reasons the Emperor got so mad is because the Wordbearers had the slowest rate of like conquering worlds out of all the legions, and that's kind of what made him take notice. And that's because they took so much time on every single planet, making sure everyone was going to church on Sundays, everyone had a Bible, every statue was perfect. Da 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 da. They took too long, and the Emperor's like, "Why are you guys slowing down so much? Everyone else is jetting ahead of you. What's going on?" And then he found out, I was like, "Oh, I don't
You
like
little
this."
bastard.
They're
was
too
for, like,
busy
every-
writing their fan fiction.
Yeah.
Unironically, you're not wrong with me. That's like half true.
It's like your kid come to you and give you like a nice drawing you made, and the Emperor was like, "Ew," just fucking
Like,
rip
this
it
is
apart.
This isn't going on the fridge. It's going in the trash. You little shit. What the hell?
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is
gross.
very nice. Throws it away when the kid walks into the other room.
Oh no, in
No,
front of
burns
him.
it in
No
front
shame.
of him.
Yeah, in front of him.
Oh no.
It burns it in front. Unironically, though, the Emperor was actually very patient with Lorgar. Like, he did give him a bunch of chances to like get his shit together and keep going, but Lorgar was like, "No, you're just testing me. This is a test."
Jesus.
It was bad. The Emperor eventually had to assign custodians to basically half guard, half spy on Lorgar to make sure he stopped doing the shit. It didn't work. But
yes,
he did try.
unfortunately, the custodians that were assigned to him were the most retarded custodians out of the law.
Yeah, that's
All right. Sujad said time for bed. Good night, Sujad. See you probably tomorrow on whenever our streams. Sent Fish Google Drive link with 40K books. Fun fact about Angron, whatever. A Warhound Titan knocked him down with its primary armaments. It then stood on him. He pushed it off.
Yeah.
You remember Hell's Reach? There was the little baby Titan that was walking in between the two big ones.
Yes.
That's a
One of
Warhound.
those stepped on him.
And yeah, that stepped on Angron. And
he just pushed it off?
Yes.
Yes. Primarchs are busted.
Okay, and also the fight between Sanguinius and Angron during the Siege of Terra, their fight basically to kill the Warlord Titan. Like, they crashed
more than
through
that.
it.
More than that, Sanguinius flew through the Titan with his spear.
Yep.
It was
okay,
pretty
this is
fucking
funny.
cool.
Mr. Sandwich said, "Religion is bad," said the 10-foot-tall gleaming gold god man.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it's kind of that's a
It's
big
hard,
thing.
like, it's actually kind of hard to deny divinity when you're literally glowing with divine aura. You can probably heal someone with a touch, like,
It's
bro, I don't know.
Dude, it's mentioned several times from like the ordinary man's perspective that looking at the Emperor hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts to look at him. He's so radiating with psychic, like, divine energy.
Man.
Like,
I mean,
sorry,
I can't
man.
deny. If I was in his presence, I'd probably worship him too.
I mean,
Dude,
at
if a-
least he's being humble about it, and then his fan fiction writers are just like, we gotta worship him.
It is, and like I said, he gave Lorgar a lot of chances to get his shit together. He gave him a lot of chances.
Hogan didn't punch an
But-
Eldar Titan. He punched the fucking Avatar of Cain.
Yeah.
The Emperor
so
literally
Lumi
has a
did put
halo.
into-
It's like looking at the sun, yeah.
For every like one world the word bearers conquered, other legions will get like 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, it's because they were taking their sweet fucking time. Even the Ultramarines rewriting the tax code of every single planet were doing it faster than they were.
I mean, religion
Well,
takes
Texas matter.
time.
Anyway,
yeah.
time for more churches.
Yeah, it's time for more.
He was going to sick the Space Wolves on them, removing them from history like the 2nd and 11th Legions, but the other Primarchs convinced him to show leniency, and so the Ultramarines were ordered to level the Wordbearers' capital city, and they were made to kneel in the ash and repledge themselves to the Imperial truth. And that was all that was needed. Lorgar's advisors told him that there were other gods more worthy of his worship, and so the first Primarch slid into Chaos worship and began planning to corrupt his greatest brother, Horus. Today, the Wordbearers continue this sort of work, seeding cults in Imperial territory and furthering the worship of the ruinous powers. The second of the most carefully and
Before we get to your guys' best boys, so
Boys.
Oh,
is
she knows.
is there a specific god that the word bearers?
Chaos.
So they are Chaos Undivided. So they
Chaos.
basically worship all four in
Pretty
equal
equally.
measures. Now, there might be
Um,
individual word bearers that like pick one they prefer, but like the Legion as a whole was undivided to my
Oh,
opinion. Or
okay.
monkey.
If I remember correctly, the road bearers also are pretty good at summoning demon. If I remember
Yeah, they're-
correctly, or
they're
am
pretty-
I
they're
off?
very good
The
at
Iron
rituals.
Warriors are probably a little bit better, but they have a little more specialty devoted to it. The word bearers are chaos worshippers, true and true. Like they genuinely believe.
Like
in
they
what
do all the seances and everything, the rituals.
I don't remember the name of it, but they have a special, basically like unit where it's like half Space Marine, half demons. But they're like it's a willing possession. Like they willingly allow themselves to be possessed.
The Garvor back.
Yeah, the Garvor back.
So Atari, number
Oh,
2
God.
Finboy, said
little
they
femboy.
are all the word bearers are sluts for all gods.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
pretty fair.
Yes.
Yeah,
But I'm good
Well,
denying
that's
him just
fair.
because he's number 2 femboy.
and because
They
it's
want it all.
sluggish.
Yes,
know-
Damon Hodes. That was the word they were looking for.
No,
And-
there's a specific type. Demon hosts are just like general possessions. The word bearers have a specific like type, and it's the gore, whatever the Mugman said.
Hmm.
Yes, the Garvor back.
The Garvor back. It's a specialty thing. It's a willing possession as opposed to demon hosts, which are usually unwilling possessions.
And
Fair.
now we all cry over Argyltal.
I know.
F and
mean-
Chad.
Harn didn't cry, but he certainly he did something else.
Yeah, Karn did a big
Yep.
funny to Erebus.
2
and it
words.
was,
Get up.
Get up.
Get
I
up.
love that. I love
You know,
that.
the
line.
only
This is
thing
why
that I
everyone
know
hates
about
Erebus.
salamanders, about the salamanders, is that it's just sad all the time.
They're good. No, they're not. What? They're not. What?
That's
No.
the Lamenters that are sad.
No,
Salamanders are good.
I mean, the comics that I see, it's just sad.
Oh yes.
I just get
Oh,
sad
no.
Yes,
every
that.
fucking time I see it.
Don't remind me. I don't want
Never
to be
read
happy for a change.
Salamander comic. You will end only in tears.
I sent
Okay.
Loki.
Every time
I'm
I
about to
see
make
the
everybody
green
here
suit,
mad.
I'm like, oh,
No, shut up.
okay, I guess I'm
What?
going to be crying while I take a shit today. Fine.
I make no apologies, Lumi. I make no apologies.
Anyway,
I
I'm about to
did
make everybody mad.
No,
Yeah.
The salamanders are mid.
you're
Yeah.
fucking mid.
Let me kick this man out.
This man was tested on the anvil and found wanting.
Abelard, crush the
Do you
nuts.
do you find the heretic?
Yeah, a little touch on the Ultramarines killing the Word Bear city. So
Down, foul spirit!
Oh, Atari said salamanders are fun to bully.
Atari's
Atari,
Swedish. I don't care
you
what
don't know
Atari
shit.
says. Anyway,
All right,
No,
Let's go on
Let's
with the
keep going.
Vulcan, please.
yeah, we'll talk about the
Secretly
Sally
made
Boys.
legions, the 18th Legion had a very specific purpose like the Space Wolves and the Alpha Legion. These Marines and the special changes to their gene seed were kept secret even from the other legions for quite some time. For the 18th Legion, this purpose was to be the heroes of humanity. Kept in reserve for most of the Unification Wars, the 18th was suddenly unleashed against one of the Emperor's most dangerous enemies. 26,000 Astartes went in and only 1,000 walked out again, but the enemy was defeated and no other lives had been lost. Their Primarch Vulcan saved the day in much the same manner during a desperate fight against a large orc raiding fleet. Vulcan, who had been found but not yet reunited with his legion, suddenly arrived with 3,000 new recruits and master-forged equipment for his battered legion, who had been holding the line without him. Too late to save the former commanders of the 18th, Vulcan knelt to the men he had been too late to save, and the legion was his, renamed then to the Salamanders. This is why the 18th Legion was always the smallest. They'd swoop into these desperate situations and hold the line until their charges were safely away, or until they'd won, but always at the cost of many Astartes' lives. As for the heresy itself, the Salamanders did their best to be effective with their small numbers, but were subject to several terrible defeats at the hands of the traitor legions. Vulcan himself was even captured briefly by the Night Lord, but after several executions, the Night Haunter admitted that he didn't know how to kill the apparently immortal Salamander's Primarch. The journeys of Vulcan are too complex to voice here, but just know that he's still out there somewhere waiting for his chance to return to his heroic gene sons. Until then, they'll continue being the Imperium's shield. In the very beginning,
boys.
Your boys.
The good boys.
They are good boys.
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure you will be arriving just ready to just nonstop talk when we do salamanders.
Who is? Who?
Magma.
Magma.
Oh, yes, Magma.
Yes.
Salamanders are his boys.
They are my boys.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna, Lumi, I'm gonna bring you into the Raven Guard the only appropriate way I can. The
Yeah.
last words, Corvus Corax, the Primarch of the Raven Guard, said to his children were nevermore.
Damn.
I see.
That's not a joke.
Yeah.
Raven.
Also,
I wish
they
I
literally
wish
have
I-
like a victory tradition, like where they take like a 7-day nap or some shit.
Yeah.
Lucian.
That sounds like a pretty.
Vulcan
that sounds
lives.
like a pretty-
Stomp, stomp.
Vulcan lives. Stop. Yes.
Right, let us continue with the Raven Guard.
the 19th Legion was a guerrilla force, striking from the shadows at targets that would cause the most disruption for an enemy. They operated quite similarly to the Night Lords in this regard, the intent being to sow terror wherever they went and ensure that the prospect of fighting the Imperium was too frightening to contemplate. Earlier, however, they were often tasked with supporting the larger Luna Wolves Legion in their campaign, so they never really gained the disgust of their peers in the same way that the Night Lords did. Regardless, after almost a century of the Great Crusade, the 19th Primarch was found. Corvus Corax had been living on a world called Deliverance, and had spent much of that time leading a rebellion against the cruel rulers of that planet. When he saw how his legion made war, he was disgusted and purged the old leadership. He believed there were better ways to make an enemy fall than to terrorize innocent people. Instead, he trained his legion to become expert trackers and assassins, using their already prodigious skills in stealth operations to make them even more effective against dismantling power structures. Their success led to the newly renamed Raven Guard being requested for many campaigns, including the conflict at Eastvan 5. Already one of the smallest legions, the Raven Guard were set upon by an ambush as the traitor legions revealed themselves by turning their guns on their former allies. Outnumbered and fighting a straight-out battle, not something the Raven Guard were well suited for, they were almost completely wiped out. The problems didn't stop there either, with the Raven Guard gene seed beginning to deteriorate faster than normal, produce horrible mutations, and forcing recruitment to a crawl. This is a problem that persisted for most of the Legion's existence until the recent introduction of the Primaris Marines, which finally seems to have solved the problem. The Emperor had...
I'm gonna say one thing. I don't know why they think a Space Marine can't... Sorry.
What is the Primaris Marine?
It's,
So
it's just the
there's-
new
uh,
Space Marines. It's just new Space
Basically,
Marines.
they are Space Marines 2.0 that a plot device pulled out of his ass so GW could resell you Space Marines.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
I
because
see.
now the models are new and different, and they have different rules. And if you use the old models, you can't compete in tournaments and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's how they keep the model sales going. It's like, oh yeah, these are new, but you can't use
Only-
your old ones. You can't compete in tournaments.
Yes.
Only if you're fucking Space Marines. Eldar players are crying in a corner right now because their models are like 20 years old.
Jeez.
Like the
No, the
skulls.
the warp spiders have been updated, so they no longer
Yeah,
have the
warp
20-year-old.
spiders, but that's it. That's like it though. Like Dark Eldar quarter players are crying in a corner right now. Yeah, Eldar gets shafted in the literature and in the model department. Honestly, it's kind of depressing. And yeah, their rules are also making them frustrating too. So everyone just hates them in general.
I see.
Yeah. No. He kind of mentions the gene seed deterioration. I know the Alpha Legion did some funny shit with the Raven Guard gene seed during the Heresy, but that was fixed before the Primaris. It was fixed with the Raptors stuff.
Okay.
So the Raptor is a code name, I think it is. Essentially, it was a new way to create Space Marines way faster
and
that
better.
the Emperor created specifically for the Raven Guard to kind of help fix them.
Well,
and in theory, like help the Heresy like get along. But
well, you see, the Raptors were specifically because Corvus went back to the Imperial Palace after. Well, he got back in contact with the Emperor after the drop site massacre because his Legion was so fucked. Like he had like no fighting force. Like Father, I need to learn how to make Space Marines better. I need to make more. So
the
literally,
19th Legion
the
is
Emperor
about to be not existing anymore, Dad. I need
so
some
like
help.
the Emperor
We got,
literally
like,
gave
3
him
dudes.
every single bit of information he had on how to make Space Marines.
Yeah,
And basically the
created-
Raptors were better. Like they were physically better, they were stronger, and even like veteran Marines couldn't actually beat them in a straight up fight.
Yeah. It's like you make a Space Marine in like a quarter of the time. They basically get all the memories of a previous veteran. It was
Which is why this actually would have been a great stepping stone for the Primaris, but they didn't fucking do that.
If Call just rediscovered the Raptors formula, I would have liked that infinitely more than making just better Space Marines.
Yes.
Just make it a fucked up version of the Raptors formula too. Like just do that, and then the power armor is just new power. Yeah,
So
Raven
Arch
Guard
made
got
a post with what I can guess is a manatee version of Lumi. That he was named a plump lump. Yeah. No, was that Gwimbus or was that Boog that made Manatee Lumi?
I think it was
I will have to. I think it was Gwimbus, but I will double check.
It was probably Gwimbus because he's been playing around with the various animal versions of Lumi.
Yeah.
He sends it to Arch. Jesus.
I don't know if you saw the recent one he made. He made the little cute like sheep Lumi that's kind of adorable.
I seen.
I just think Libby is now one with Ignatius. Bah.
Yeah.
Oh no!
What happened
I
between
think
you
that
and
was
Ignatius?
Mobius.
Mobius? Oh, that one was Mobius. Nice.
I think because Mobius Bacon, the manatee.
Oh my god, Yoon in chat. Yeah, that's a better name. He said, "Wouldn't it be Lumity?" That's better. That's better.
All right,
I like that a lot
let
better.
us finish up this video. And Jesus Christ, it's fucking hot in my apartment because the weather decided, okay, we're just gonna heat up about 15 degrees, and my computer not helping.
Computer's crying.
My computer is crying, and I am crying, and I still need to make dinner before Moose Man.
We're sorry that we stretched this out for like 3 hours.
Hey, you're fine because I've been learning a lot, and again, if I didn't have you guys here, I would be taking all this at face value.
Lumi likes her little army of autists to actually everybody because
I just had to get my fedora.
We're so smart. We're
I have a
smarter than these
fedora.
YouTube people.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we're smarter than Midrick, but that's not very hard.
No, it's not.
We're apparently smarter than this dude.
Fucking Australian.
It's always the Australian.
Well, I mean, Major Kill is, yes.
All right,
Mugman is Australian light, but we're gonna
Let's continue.
His wolfish executioners
Zealand,
and
you
his draconic
bastard.
heroes, the last thing he
Yeah, I said
needed was a
Australia later
legion
already.
of serpentine spies. Kept intentionally at low membership like the other two specialty legions, extremely little is known about the Alpha Legion, originally known as the Ghost Legion. This seems to have been intentional as well, with false records being implanted at the same time.
Wait, hold on. Their suits can change colors?
Yes.
Kinda, yeah. It's I
I'm
can't remember
Alpha
the thing.
Arius.
It's a camo. It's a stealth camo thing.
Yeah, that's okay. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like the Alpha Legion. I wish they were written like a little bit better.
Instead of convoluted as hell.
Yeah, like well, I mean the convolution is fine. It's just have a consistent convolution.
Not just colors. Well, I know. Just like it camos, like makes a perfect copy of other.
Yeah, it's actually
The other
it's
suit.
pre-
Oh, is that where the whole I am Alfarius thing comes from?
yes,
Yes.
Because
He
they
doesn't
literally all
clarify
dubbed
it,
the
we
name
can
I am
clarify it.
Alfarius.
Oh, okay.
If he doesn't
And-
clarify it, I can clarify it.
All right,
So,
let's keep going.
Time as others are simply erased.
Yeah, monkey.
This is because these
Yes, monkey.
after that video, someone sent a funny video of Malkador and the Emperor in the Warhammer Wednesday submission.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, after.
That one will make you
Okay.
cry.
Okay.
special purpose of the Alpha Legion was to run subterfuge operations. Imperial records only confirm their existence with vague reports of small Alpha units operating far ahead of the main battle lines, gathering intel, assassinating key targets, and setting up informant networks among the Emperor's enemies, sometimes years before they even saw an Imperial fleet. From what we know, the standard operating procedure of the Alpha Legion goes like this. A small handful of Alpha Legion operatives, Astartes and mortal humans, arrive at the target location and begin setting up a network. This network begins to destabilize the enemy organizational structure with things like crime rings, political corruption, targeted assassinations, and the spreading of false information and propaganda. Once the enemy has been suitably thrown into disarray, the main Alpha Legion forces arrive and attack from as many angles as possible, spreading more chaos and finishing the job in a lightning strike. The nature of the Alpha Legion is such that we can never truly be sure of anything about them, but we do know that their Primarch is a man named Alfarius, a name that every Alpha Legionnaire gives to anyone outside the Legion when asked for identification. They also make attempts to look like their Primarch, who is by all accounts one of the smallest Primarchs. Oh, also he's got a twin brother. The biggest secret of the 20th Legion is that their Primarch is actually twins, Alfarius and Omegon. The two have even pretended to be one another to such an extent that while Alfarius is confirmed to have been killed sometime after the heresy, we're still not certain of which one died or even if he actually did die. This cloud of confusion goes so far as to make it completely uncertain whether the Alpha Legion actually sided with Horus or not during the heresy. They certainly fought with him against the Loyalists and do the work of the Chaos to this day, but there are whispers that they are working from within to destabilize the efforts of the ruinous powers. Overall, the Space Marine Legions are some of 40k's most discussed areas of lore. They have evolved from simple two-dimensional flavors of combat styles to full-blown characters in an epic space opera. Thank you so much for watching our very first long-form.
We're finally done.
Okay, so apparently the thing about Alfarius and Omega is apparently that Omega was the one that died, but since he actually liked to name himself Alfarius, Alfarius took up the name of Omegon, who actually took his name back to Alfarius again, and it all just kind of
It's worse than that. So all of the Alpha Legion look identical to Alfarius. They're the same height, they look the same body, everything. And Alfarius would routinely impersonate regular Space Marines to move about his legion, send them in his name, all kinds of funny shit. So
That just makes me think of the show Undercover Boss.
unironically,
Yes.
you're not that wrong. It's pretty good. It's pretty close actually.
Yes,
he is watching
that
his,
is fair.
his employees very
So
closely.
one of my favorite little like Alpha Legion like stories is like, so this is way forward in the future in 40k time. there's this Alpha Legion warband romping around this area of space, and the High Lords of Terra are like, these guys are a problem. Oh, what's that? His warlord's name. Oh, that's he's saying his name is Alfarius. Well, that's the Primarch. We gotta get him. We gotta get him now. Like, how could he be alive? What? So they send 6 Vindicar assassins, which are essentially like perfect snipers, is what they are. They're the best snipers in the Imperium, basically.
Yeah.
They send 6 of them to go kill this Alfarius warlord because it might be the Primarch. A few years later, they've killed about 20 warlords in this warband who have all said they're Alfarius.
That's
like
funny.
everything. Oh, it gets better. So they kill after a few years. They kill about 20 warlords who are all named Alfarius, and they keep going. And then one day, a serf in the Imperial Palace is going to fetch the High Lords, essentially dinner. He opens the fridge, and all 6 of the assassins' heads are sitting in the freezer.
Rip.
Nobody
And
knows how they got
occasionally
there.
Oh.
They're just there.
Yeah, and occasionally you will have one Alpha Legion member being like, "Oh, I am Omegon."
Yeah.
Just
No,
to
it's one of
confuse
my
us.
favorite. It's one of my because as far as the High Lords knew, the assassins were still out there killing, Alpha Legion warlords. And then one day, all 6 of their heads just shows up in the High Lord's pantry.
You know what? I love that.
And like nobody knows how they got there. Nobody knows when they showed up necessarily because they've been frozen. It's only like they just showed. Have they been there for years? Have they been there for 5 minutes? I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe all the reports they got were fake, and they were being sent reports by the Alpha Legion that they were killing warlords. I don't know. All they know is that they got 6 heads in the freezer, and nobody knows how they got there.
Yep.
Like,
yes.
the High Lords are in a palace that's next to the Emperor's palace. Like, it's right there. Like, it's as close as you can get to the Emperor without being in his palace. And someone managed to sneak in there with a bunch of heads.
Mm-hmm.
That's a serious thing.
And the reason we had to go through the legions is.
All right, what are we watching now?
I was thinking because it's almost 7 o'clock and Moose Man gets out of work half hour. I was gonna go make dinner and everything.
So let's finish with the thingy I said earlier, like the
we can finish
about
with the monkey
Malkador.
video.
Sorry, Danny, we'll get to your video some other time.
It's like I know that like specific things they're just gonna lost everything. But it's okay as long as we're more things. Let me see where this video is. Is it a file that I have to download, or is it like an actual?
No, it's just like a video you.
Alpha Legion arrested. What side are you on? That one.
Oh.
Which one is it?
That's about the Alpha Legion, but we're talking about the Malkador one monkey.
The Malkador one. Someone
like go up
called
to
DE Guardian sent it. It's like the 3rd one.
It's just the last moment of the Emperor Malkador.
Yeah, show Lumi about Malkador.
Let me see if I can find the YouTube.
Here. Which one is it?
Okay, there's one I sent, there's one Shadow sent, and before that there's one that DE Guardian sent. This is the one.
Christ, I'm watching it right now.
It's sad. Hold on, let me see if I can. Here, I'm about to post it as an actual video, not just as a download thing.
Yep.
Oh my god, that is kind of depressing.
Yes, this one is sad.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's see. Marksman, fuck you. He just said Keemcock.
Keemcock.
We were doing so good.
Happy times! There's a normal man, I promise, he's normal.
2 normal dudes. When war gives them the Men of Iron. Or right through Kamarog.
Making the Primarchs. Good times.
Unification of Terra.
God, he's fucking huge.
He is huge.
No more Malkador.
Oh,
Yes.
that is sad. Jesus
It's
Christ.
a little sadder than you think. So Malkador was holding back basically all 4 Chaos Gods sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
He held back a little bit just to store enough power so that he could keep the Emperor alive when he went to sit on the chair.
Yep.
Like, he saved just a little bit of his energy just to make sure his best friend could stay alive.
Oh.
Hence why he went from being known as Malkador the Sigillite to Malkador the Hero.
So
Oh.
anytime you see art of the Emperor Lumi, and there's like this old man standing next to him with a stick, that's Malkador.
Oh,
That's-
okay. I
that's
was
probably
always
the second most
wondering what that old dude was.
That is Malkador.
That is the second most powerful individual in the entire Imperium, right there.
Yep.
Hmm.
If he speaks with the voice of the Emperor, and you do what you're fucking.
He made
told.
the
I'm not even talking
Inquisition.
about just authority levels. I'm talking about on psychic levels too.
Yeah, he's probably the second most powerful human psyker that ever existed.
I see.
And
Probably
to
was Malcolm
everybody
Marx as well.
else, apart from the Emperor, he is a total dick.
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh, Malkador.
How?
He's just a dick.
So.
He is a
okay,
dick, but
in
that's
the
part
term
of that's
tone,
part
like,
of,
I got it, got it.
that's part of running an empire.
Oh,
So-
I am going to start closing out the stream. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. I enjoy having straight autism put right into my brain. It is very
Hell
fun.
yeah. It's
No
refreshing
problem.
than Arch's autism, which is just general and unfocused. Ours is refined and pure.
Ours is superior in every way.
Pure autism, yeah.
Black
My
tar
autism is better than yours.
All right,
Uh,
Black tar autism
but
straight to
if
me.
you guys in the chat want to join in on the Warhammer autism, feel free to join my Discord. We have a channel dedicated to it. You guys can join the other Warhammer autistics that are also in there.
Yay.
It sometimes still leaks out.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Sometimes I talk about Star Wars for 6 hours. I get
And
lost.
sometimes I dream about cheese.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna send you guys over to Gundam since he's live right now. So have fun
Good
over
old
there.
Papa Gundam.
Hmm?
Good old Papa Gundam.
Yes, good old Papa Gundam.
One day he'll get divorced from Pokimane, and it'll be a great story.
Great.
One
Good
day
night,
Lumi will have her
everybody. I'll
Kamiyoshi.
see you later. Bye.